Woo! Hey everybody. Sorry that last song started off a little creepy. Hope I didn't freak you out with that. Anyways, happy Saturday. It is chill stream time. Let's go over to chatting. Hi! Oh wait, why is it not working? Hold on. Hello, gamer. Good to see you once more. Happy Saturday. Good afternoon. Yeah! You too, buddy. Hang on. I gotta figure out why this ain't working. I, what the hell was that called? I had. Is that a demon? No, this is your official Saturday Chill avatar. See, I did used to use the animes. New model I see, fantastic. Yes, as I'm explaining. I did used to use this animes, and yeah, sorry about the logo. I can't get rid of that unless I pay for premium. Who wants to do that? um, But damn, I gotta find out why that text to speech I set up ain't working. Hang on. I don't forgot the name of the website. Yeah, I used to use animes, and I crafted a pretty nice avatar here. I actually spent money to get this hair, and I love it. And I got this these facial scales that they just coincidentally happen to be exactly how how I have them. Exactly my pattern. Anyways, I decked out this little avatar, but I was also looking for something better, and that's when I found Live 2D, and I have that little character on there. And in a lot of ways, I do like it better. Like the the motion capturing on it is a little more stable because if you notice, this one jitters around a little bit sometimes. Uh, but and I'll mostly use that one. But I also was like, oh, but I just spent money trying to deck this one out a little bit, and I spent time, dolling it up, and I didn't really want it to go to waste. So, uh, recently, the animes introduced webcam only hand tracking. It's gonna be a little wonky because it's like a beta feature. See if I can get my hand up here. Yeah, yeah, it's gonna be a little bit wonky because it's in beta, it's a new feature. They're still working on it. But yeah, and I said, you know what, why don't I use this since they're sitting down and I can move my hand around now. Why don't I use this for the Saturday chill stream? So yeah, this will be your Saturday chill stream host. Prince, could you try not to knock things down on my desk? Thanks. But okay, so real quick though, before we begin, I need a bathroom break. And also, I need to figure out why the text to speech for my comments that I set up doesn't seem to be working. So, yeah, y'all hang tight. I'll be back soon. Behave. Hi guys. You know what I just realized? I set you guys on the waiting screen. Be back soon screen. I forgot to put music on for you. Oops, my bad. But I'm gonna go ahead and get music going, but we'll turn it down really low while I figure this problem out. There, we'll just have it really quiet. Alright. Yeah. It's cool. Good buddy, don't worry about it. I'm probably gonna have to I don't know, I might have to recalibrate my character though, just to make sure it's working okay. By the way, MK1 announced 3 new... Did you just say Store Market music? Bro, it's Silent Hill music. By the way, MK1 announced 3 new female skins. Okay. Oh yeah, those, the original outfit costumes. Yeah, I saw that. Oh, that's one of those Sonic. That's one of those Sonic songs I downloaded. Okay, yeah. About time it's playing something besides my Silent Hill music. Which I love my Silent Hill music, but give my other music a chance, you know? My seal fell down. I need to grab him. Come here, big buddy. Alright. Sit in my lap. There you go. Alright. Sounds more like the Store Market music for demons. Or Karen's. Oh, goodness. Okay, maybe I need to have the window open for it to work. The dude who did the tutorial video didn't mention that part. Okay. Decided to start, I need to start playing the music at just a low volume while we're chatting, so that if I go quiet for a minute, you know, you still got nice music to listen to, instead of dead air. Isn't that better? Okay.
When I saw your reaction of the Ghostface gameplay, I heard that whenever Johnny gets the fatality treatment and making you sad, at first I thought it would be Raiden for you, but I can understand since I like Johnny too.
Hey, it's working now, so apparently I have to have the actual, like, control window open. Like I said, that dude didn't tell me that. Okay, so we got it working now. Oh yeah, I would be kind of sad about Raiden too, because it's a cute little cinnamon roll. But you know, Johnny, I've got to get extra ridiculously dramatic about it, because he's my baby. He's my fave. Whoop, hold on. Maybe I need to recalibrate my thing here. Hold on. Okay. Every now and then you get...
being Johnny.
Johnny being Johnny. And I love him for it. So, I read somewhere that if you're attracted to quote-unquote narcissistic people, it's because you have low self-esteem, and it's like, okay, first of all, you ain't gotta call me out like that. Nah, but... Well, see, it's not, like, narcissistic, per se. I don't really... Because whenever I say narcissistic, I kind of relate it to, like, those really abusive people that actually have a narcissistic personality disorder. Even though I know that's a different thing from just being a narcissist. Like, being a narcissist is just... It's
He's
different.
Confident.
He's confident, yeah. I was gonna say, I just like to say he's full of himself. Which, yeah. He is full of himself. He thinks very highly of himself. He's very confident, sometimes overconfident. But, he's got the stuff to back it up.
Johnny getting the Kung Lao treatment.
The Kung Lao treatment. Which is probably why I like Kung Lao, too, because Kung Lao has kind of a, very, he's got a kind of overconfidence about himself, too. That's probably why I like Kung Lao as well. Oh, and I need to open my can. Ugh. Walmart has their little Asian section. Our Walmart isn't really that big, so, like, they don't have a lot of stuff that, like, other bigger Walmarts have. So they're, like, little Asian section in the foreign foods aisle there, they don't have a lot of stuff. But they just started selling those little cans of the boba tea. And I saw that yesterday, and I was like, oh, yes! And so I grabbed all 3 flavors, the regular milk tea, the brown sugar tea, milk tea, and the taro milk tea. So right now I'm drinking the taro one, and I got me a big fat straw here to get the pearls out. I decided to go by my least favorite to my most favorite. My least favorite is taro. Like, I like the taro, but sometimes it's a little bit too sweet,
At Goth Mermaid Gamer, hey.
Oh, hey! Remio18, I think is how you say your name. Sorry if I mispronunciated it. Okay, so I got the chat thing taken care of. We've chatted for a bit, told you a few things. Let's go to the video. Let me stop the music, hold on. Pause the music. So, I know last Saturday when I decided to start doing this, I made it just random videos. But then I decided, you know what? I keep adding videos to my watch later list, and then sometimes I never get around to watching them. I've got like some really old ones on there. So, I decided let's turn Saturday into... I mean, it'll still technically be called the Chill Saturday stream, but it's like AKA let's clear out my watch later list. So we're just going to be going through my watch later and watch some videos from there. Not this one. Shit, you can't even see my mouse, but you can see it highlighted. Not this one because I go to work, and while I'm working, because I'm basically like the cleaner, janitor person at my job. That's my job to, and so I'll make a playlist to listen to while I'm working there, and I'll save some videos that I want to listen to at work for watch later. So stuff like this. This guy is awesome. This Dustin... how do you say that? Pointer? Pointer. I think that's how you say that. I thought that was an F, but I think it's a T. Dustin Pointer, the red flag guy. He's awesome. He's so funny. He reads out these little posts and all from Reddit. He'll read them out, and he'll go out into a field and like wave the flag around. Yeah, it's so funny. And then he has such funny commentary on it, like, oh boy, I'm more nervous than a porcupine in a balloon factory. He'll say stuff like that. Yeah, he's awesome. But anyways, I got a lot of like iceberg stuff and a lot of like documentary / like retrospective type of stuff. I got a lot of just some more long, usually the long form videos I got saved later. So here's one that I just saved. This looked interesting. So I turned famous creepypasta villains into 3D models by Benny. Not sure how you say that. I have to remember these names so I can put them in the description when I upload.
Thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring this video.
Alright, here we go. Ooh, little loud. Ooh, there we go. Let me know if y'all can hear this okay.
Hey, it's me, Beanie. Stay close.
Let's get this party started.
Luckily,
Hell yeah!
This candle handle. Pretty good. But not as good as this pasta we're about to jump into. Creepy pasta, that is. The term derives from the earlier term of copypasta, which was usually some
All
body
well and
text
here great.
that was considered amusing or otherwise deemed worthy
Oh,
of
good.
replacing in an ironic way in any place that had a messaging system.
You let me know if
This is
something
stuff
goes
like
fucky
the
wucky,
tale of
okay?
Darth Plagueis the Wise, and you have to have a very high IQ to understand Rick and Morty, or the
Oh,
old
God.
Rick Gold. What the fuck did you just fucking say about me, you little bitch?
Oh, that's a classic. I love somebody actually took that copypasta and made a song out of it. They got their guitar out and they were like,
Will
what?
do, buddy.
Oh, okay, good. But they got their guitar out and was like, what the fuck did you just say to me, you little bitch? I'll have you know I'm a Navy SEAL. Like, I love that version of it.
Oh, and copypasta just comes from the idea that you copy and paste these from wherever you found them into a comment section or something. They were just being a little silly with it when they turned paste to pasta. And just so, copypasta was turned into creepypasta when internet horror stories began to gain major traction online and found themselves being reposted all over forums and later widely covered by YouTubers. Mostly in the form of voice narration, but...
Whoa! Fourth wall break! Fourth wall! You're breaking the fourth wall! Oh, by the way, I know I did one video where me and a friend of mine read out some creepypastas. If y'all want some more videos like that, let me know. We'll read out creepypastas, good and bad. Probably mostly bad.
Is this the right place? Huh?
The Big Book of Creepypastas.
Oh,
The Ancient Tome.
very cool.
Uh-oh. What's this?
Stopped bust.
Oh.
Stopped bust, as in the sculpture from the shoulders up.
Oh, yeah. Alright, so here's the deal. Most stories have an antagonist, and as creepypastas gained notoriety for their horror stories, so did their antagonists. Looks like tonight we're gonna sculpt them as busts. There's all kind of classics in here, so let's just flip over to...
Go to page 92.
Very specific.
Slender Man! A good place to warm up. Originally part of a 2009 Photoshop competition on the Something Awful forum, as a submission posted by one Eric Knudsen, alias Victor Surge.
Victor Surge.
His original post contains a black and white photograph of various children, with a photoshopped in Slenderman looming in the back, accompanied by the quote,
Oh yeah, but why does that kid in the front look pissed?
"We didn't want to go. We didn't want to kill them. But its persistent silence and outstretched arms horrified and comforted us at the same time." 1983. Photographer unknown. Presumed dead.
Slenderman
It was a
iconic
bit harder to see in
creepypasta.
these original entries, but people quickly latched onto the creature.
The
and it
OG.
didn't take long for it to become an absolute phenomenon. The original thread for the competition started on June 8th, and on the 20th of the same month, an indie horror series known as Marble Hornets dropped. Following
Marble
the
Hornets.
escapades of a bunch of film students and their dealings with Slender Man, or as they called him, the Operator. Not only is that turnaround time insane, but Marble Hornets went on to contribute massively to the online horror space and influenced many that followed. His usual MO is stealing kids, or in the Marble Hornets depiction, he'll turn people into his proxies, which is just a fancy way of saying he's got them under mind control. That being said, the specifics of Slender Man are pretty nebulous, considering he started off as some pictures with some descriptions to lay the groundwork of his lore, but as other people started adding onto the mythos and contributing their own ideas, it's become more of a crowdsourced lore of different versions over the years. I'm sure a good chunk of you know
Why
Slender
do
Man
I
and what
hear
he looks
Marvel
like by
instead
now,
of Marvel
and if I'm gonna
rolling
start
on the floor
sculpting him,
laughing?
I'm gonna have to create a base. Our starting point, a sphere. Before we jump into anything too detailed yet,
Well, they do
we
sound
carve out
similar.
The basic shape of a humanoid head and torso. That means extending out the bottom into a base and pulling out the top part, separating them out with the neck by carving away some mass in the middle. We're pulling the torso down into a wedge shape and pulling the head.
Bro, I wish I could do 3D modeling like this in like Blender and shit. I wish I could do it. But I got the kind of autism that makes it really hard to follow even simple steps or direction. So even watching a tutorial video, my brain was just, yeah, my brain was spaghetti trying to listen to that, trying to follow that.
Into a more bulbous shape, with a point at the front for our chin. We'll define the form by removing space
When
under the
is the
jawline
face
and adding
reveal
in
at
neck
Goth
muscles,
Mermaid
namely
Gamer?
the sternocleidomastoid.
Well, if you watch some of
That's
my
the big
really,
one.
really
Here's a
old,
picture
like,
for reference.
first
We'll
videos
also define
that I put on the
structure of
channel,
face
I
by
did have
creating
my
some
face
depth
cam.
under where the cheekbones would be. That way it looks more like a face without
I haven't
needing to
really
give it
changed
actual
much
features.
since
I actually
then.
ended up sculpting a lot more torso definition than
Maybe I
really
got a little
wanted to,
fatter, but I
considering
need
he's
to.
gonna be covered
I'm
with a
working
suit.
on that.
For said suit,
Very
we'll create a
relatable.
cube object and pull it over the shape of the torso, assigning a darker color for some visual distinction while we work. For the neck hole of the suit, we'll mask out a circle and pull it down so Slender can fit nice and snugly, and carve in an upside down triangle on the front so we can make a start on the actual aspects of the suit itself. I've gotta wonder who his tailor is, but for now that's us. I'm also drawing in the collar on
That's
its
a good
surface
question,
with some
yeah.
basic height lines and
Where'd he
creating
get
a
that
new object colored red for the tie. This is just a stretched out sphere, and we'll pull it down into the bottom of that upside down triangle to fit snugly into its base, and draw a line at the upper end for the start of the knot that makes up the tie. It looks a little blobby at the back, but that's because it's sitting inside the suit where we can't see it, so there's no point creating details there.
Yeah,
For
you're not
Slender's
gonna see
lapel,
that part,
we're drawing
so.
over the suit object with a mask in the shape of the lapels and pulling them outwards so it looks more like it's layered over the suit. Since messing around in one object for the whole suit can get a bit wonky, we're just going to make a quick go around to crisp out those edges and make sure it looks more like an actual defined set of clothing. I'm also
Nice.
going to go over the shirt part of the torso with a white paintbrush, which doesn't actually do much in the long run, but I like seeing what I'm doing in a more complete way. That's
Fair
pretty
enough.
much the suit done, and now we can go back to the Slender head to make some tweaks and smooth out any rough brushes. Mostly, we're defining the skull even more, creating mass for the brow ridges, cheekbones, and creating slight dents where the eye sockets are. The suit gets the same treatment, and we'll go over it with a standard brush to draw in some simple wrinkling for a touch of realism. Plus, if this guy's wandering the woods all the time, there is no way he isn't getting some wrinkles in there.
Yeah.
The head will just get a finish with a textured brush, that way the skin isn't too perfectly smooth and we can have some imperfection, however subtle. With our sculpt done, it's time for retopology. This means essentially recreating the model at a lower count of polygons. This will optimize our result and we can transfer the details of the higher polygon sculpt to its textures so we don't lose that detail.
Oh.
To do so, I'm using a cube that is being affected by a series of modifiers. These are basically effects for an object that serve all kinds of purposes, while also not affecting the polygons directly. That way we can still have some freedom while we're editing away. Of these modifiers, I'm using a subdivision modifier, which will simultaneously increase our polygon count a little while smoothing out the faces, giving a higher definition look. On top of that is a shrink wrap modifier, which can be placed in our cube and assigned to the sculpt so that it can conform to its shape and make our life just a little bit easier. Thankfully, since Slenderman's got no face, this is actually pretty peachy and we don't need any fancy tricks to get this done. It's just a matter of pulling faces to envelop the sculpt and adjusting as necessary to fit the shapes right, letting the shrink wrap do the bulk of the work here. The suit, though, is a little different. Since it's a much more complex shape with changes in elevation and harder angles, we're gonna need to retopologize the suit manually. This means creating edges along the trim of the suit and places like the lapel and collar, and it sure is time consuming, but the end result is well worth it. As for the tie, it's basically the same as the head, using a cube with the same subdivision and shrink wrap modifiers, but this time assigned to the tie. It's basically—
Oh, I just noticed he's got like a timer down here. It's counting backwards, but I just looked at it and it said like 4 hours, and it was like, dude, it really does take hours to do this. Like, he's explaining it simple, but the actual work takes hours.
just a tube with a line in it, so nothing too crazy here. The suit's looking just a little too smooth, so I'm gonna go around the edges of the suit with some edge creasing, which are these pink lines you see here. These just diminish the smoothing effects of the subdivision modifier, allowing us to, well, crease the edges, making them harder and more visually distinct. Since I want to texture this guy, we need to make sure our model knows what parts of the model take up what parts of our texture space, and to do that we need to undertake UV mapping. Since this character isn't that complex, being a bust and all, we don't have to worry too much about the tedium of it. Our topology is clean, and that means we can mark these red lines, known as seams, pretty easily, contouring across the edges of our model and aiming to keep them as
Whoa, what are
out
you
of
doing,
sight
Arm?
as possible. That means
Sorry
the
about that.
seams on the head are lined up the side, and the seams for the suit
I
go
watched
right
more
up
of the
front and back,
MK1
lining up
RE
with the tie at
intros
the
from
front,
Odd
so it's
Giant
not as
and
visible.
man, some of
You
funniest
may be
Mortal
wondering why we
Kombat
need to try and
videos
keep
I
these as
ever
hidden as
watched, and
possible,
I
and
thank
while
you
they're not
very
visible
much
in
for
and of
getting
themselves
me
outside
into
of the
them
mesh
after the
editing like
Halloween
this,
special.
these are the lines where our
You're
models basically
very
split open
welcome,
and lay
yes.
flat over our texture area. As a result, sometimes
They're
during
amazing,
texturing,
and the
these seams can become
creativity
visible as
behind
it
them.
crosses the line from
I
one
wish I knew
media
how to
to
write
another because of
dialogue like
texture
that.
artifacts, which is basically fancy lingo for a visual
Like funny
glitch.
dialogue.
As we take the plunge into texturing, we'll import our lower detail model and use a process called baking, in which we'll use a higher detail model as a reference point. And our software will bake the details into the lower detail model by creating a series of textures to affect the lighting and the way the model is rendered, creating the illusion that the model has the surface detail of the sculpted one. Now we can start. And first move on the
Yawn,
docket is
excuse
to
me.
give the skin on the head a
I
somewhat
wonder if
organic
we'll
tint.
get a
To do
Christmas
that, we'll
special
use one of
this
the
year.
textures we got from baking, which
Maybe.
contrasts to the
He usually
thickness
does
of
some
our
kind of
model.
party or
This
gathering
mimics the
thing
real
every
way
holiday.
blood and stuff gets shown in your face, and since the thinner your skin is, the more visible your vessels are and the redder it looks. I don't really want to
They're
make
the big
someone
ones
blush
anyways.
right now though. So, instead of a red tinge, I'm using more of an off-white. It's subtle, but it's there. Next up, we're drawing in some shading, namely around the neck area, but we're also using another baking texture known as ambient occlusion, which simulates the subtle shadowing in the more hidden parts of the model. The suit is probably the juicier part of this process, and while I didn't realize it at first, the colors that I painted in while I was sculpting actually came through as their own texture in the export, which I didn't expect, but it's a welcome surprise. I can layer it in as a visual direction and actually use it for masking as well by selecting the colors within it. Despite that, I'm still creating layered folders containing their own colors for each section. That way I just have more control over the shininess and whatnot. Since this stuff is fabric, I needed to have some weaving, and to do that I'm using some textures as masking for the fabric pattern, and using a combination of different shininess and a very slight height layer to give off the impression that this is a real piece of clothing, and not just a clay statue.
Oh, that's cool.
And, for the sake of variation, I'm using a slightly different types of fabric patterns for the suit, shirt, and tie respectively. Even still, it's looking a little too clean, and I'll be damned if this guy's walking through the woods unattended with a perfectly laundered suit.
Yeah.
So, we're placing a dirt layer, which is actually just a bit of darkened color and some diminishing of the shininess.
Yeah, he needs to
We
be a
could
little
just draw it
dusty.
in, but since we have those baked textures from earlier, we actually have the option to use procedurally generated masks that use those textures as a guide. Thus, we have procedural dirt and wear, which we can adjust and pull back as necessary so it isn't too overbearing. After that, all that's left is to do some finishing touches to the texture and repair any artifacts that may have cropped up during our texturing process. I forgot to record myself doing it, but I also added
Is the
Slender's
new
black
GIF
tentacles to the
Mermaid
back
Gamer
using
for
Bezier
YouTube?
curves, which are essentially adjustable tubes of geometry that we can pivot to look like a set of tentacles.
What do you mean?
And with that, our first creepypasta antagonist comes to fruition. The Slender Man.
Nice. That came out great. He's approving it.
Acceptable result.
Alright, nice.
Acceptable.
1 down, 2 to go.
Very, very awesome Slenderman model.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, back into it, huh? But before we do, I want to make it known that the next few sculptures are only going to get more detail heavy as we go on, and since these are all upper body sculptures, I feel like I need to touch up on my anatomy knowledge, so I'd like to thank today's sponsor for this video, Skillshare. This place is a real hotspot for creatives like us. There's thousands of classes we can take in here. Let's just get some preferences on the board, and we've got all kinds of creative learning with game design classes for Skillshare. Oh, here we
Get through the ad.
Anatomy knowledge is skull anatomy, just sculpts, something we'll be doing up to speed, and celebrating all the creative attitude. Thanks again to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. The first 500 people to use my link in the description will receive a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. Get started today! Now back to the video. Jeff the Killer, an
I know you had to know he was coming.
The original story was written by user Sasur, whose name also happens to be Jeff.
I was about to say no, it wasn't, and then there's a little correction. What does that say? Oh wait, yeah, I think Sasur was actually the original.
Jeff the Killer, another iconic creepypasta.
Yep. For better or for worse. Okay, yes, Sasur was actually like the original creator, and then like some other guy like plagiarized his work and made the official version that we're all familiar with.
Do with that information what you will. As far as I know, the origin of the image actually hasn't been definitively found, but it's something people have been looking for a while now, and frankly it's incredible that it hasn't been found outside of a vague paper trail and a bunch of hoaxes.
My friend sometimes in the night keeps on spamming that Jeff picture just to scare me, but I know it's a creepypasta picture.
Oh, what a butthole. Oh, that would not be my friend. I've already told my friends not to do scare pranks like that on me. That would be like a friendship ender. I made sure they knew about that. Which, by the way, yeah, don't be sneaking in here with any screamer videos or anything like that, because you will be banned.
Are you going to play Ghostface when he is out?
Yeah. Sure. Of course. I already got him for DBD, and I plan on using him soon. So, yeah. But, as I was saying, yeah, not about that, yeah, not only will you be causing me some, emotional damage, and giving me panic attacks, like, literally legit, that shit gives me panic attacks, but you will be banned forever. So, yeah, just a little warning on that.
Bit ironic, considering the fact that some considered it to kind of suck. Like, okay, Jeff starts out as a 13-year-old guy, right? He's pretty angsty and he ends up
13 to 15.
Bullies, but one day Jeff is forced to hang out at the weird neighbor kid's birthday party when said bullies jump the fence with guns. Which is already wild, but Jeff actually manages to kill one in the story, and he then proceeds to get bleach dumped onto his face and set on fire, which I don't think is great for you, but I also don't think it literally turns you into the Joker.
Also, that's not how bleach works. Bleach isn't flammable like that. And I don't care if they said alcohol, too. There was bleach in there, too. No, sorry. It doesn't work like that. See, in the original story by Killer Jeff or Sasur, it was a cleaning product he was using. Like some kind of acidic product he was using, and he spilled it on himself, and that's what burned him. So that makes a little more sense.
I mean, he straight up carves a smile into his own face. Not to mention the nose, or lack thereof. How did that happen? And if it was burning his skin, then why is he so smooth? Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself here, but
yeah, in case you don't know, your skin gets rough and leathery, and definitely the opposite of white.
the end of the story, Jeff is now Jeff the Killer, and his MO is to climb into people's windows at night and say his classic catchphrase, "Go to sleep." And then he kills them, so I don't know why he even asked. That
Or as the bad creepypasta guys say, "Go to Kip."
being said, his widespread success on the internet can be attributed to the previously mentioned image, which came attached with the creepypasta and was the bane of many in the 2008 internet, where clicking the wrong link would get you a one-way ticket to a Jeff the Killer jump scare. Or Screamer, if you're an OG. Jeff's look is
Yeah, and that's that shit I'm talking about. Do not send me anything like that and quote-unquote prank me with it. You will be banned. And be responsible for causing a panic attack in me.
pretty distinct, with tones of white in his face and a hoodie.
The face is definitely nightmare fuel.
Oh yeah, that's like...
So we've got
Yeah, that's like the scariest part about it, honestly. The story is garbage, but at least the picture's creepy.
confirmation there. His hair is a stringy black shoulder length.
Because, like, I have this, like, fear of... I do not like big, bulgy, eyes just staring at me. Like, a big, wide open, bulgy eyes staring at me. I hate that. That's creepy to me.
Length cut, and he's got that classic wide Glasgow smile, complemented by small piercing eyes that sit in dark circles and no iris to be seen. Luckily, this guy happens to be humanoid, so we can actually
The
use
big
the
wide
base
open
of
eyes.
Slender Man as our baseline
Yep.
to sculpt on. To start off, we're just trying to get the forms of the head.
there any more
I'm adding a bit
pearls
of
in
mass
here,
to the
or
cheek
did I-
area because Jeff's
Nope.
honestly got a bit
I
of
finished
a
it.
head, and holes for the eye sockets, plus spheres for the eyes and little painted pupils for
Throw that
reference.
in the garbage.
To get an idea of the mouth placement,
Alright.
we'll add some forms around the mouth, leading up into the nose bridge and then carving in a mouth over those forms. A real wide one. We could keep going from here, but I think it's better to have some visual direction. After all, that's why I keep painting onto the sculptures with no intention of using those colors later. So it's time to model. We're creating some teeth and gums here, and to do that, we'll start off with a cube and apply two modifiers to it. A mirror modifier to symmetrize it, and a subdivision modifier to give it some roundness. I'll extend out the shape to look like a C, and below that use some smaller subdivided cubes to act as the teeth. If these were all the same size and distribution, it'd look a little bit artificial, so to
Yeah.
get a little bit more of a natural smile, we'll make the tops of the teeth
That's why people who get all their teeth fixed to be straight and perfect look kind of uncanny because, they're all the teeth are basically the same size and shape on just about. It looks too perfect, so it looks really uncanny.
rounded, and the bottom's flat for that shovel head shape that teeth generally have. And we'll make the two front teeth just a little bigger, and make sure the bottom row is smaller than the top row. With the teeth imported to our sculpt, we now have a good reference point to start sculpting around the mouth area, and we'll just define the jaw slightly and create a crease at the halfway point between the bottom of the mouth and the chin that'll create the definition for the bottom lip. With a better look at what we're working with here, we'll also adjust the positioning of the eyes and adjust the silhouette of the head to more closely resemble a person. Oh, well, a person with no nose anyway. Despite the fact the eyes are pretty much entirely circular, I still wanted a little bit of eyelid, so we'll just do some subtle ones without compromising the roundness of the eyes since it definitely contributes to the creepy factor. Like how insects have those big empty lidless eyes. Ugh. Some more moving around of shapes is in order, and we can draw in some lines under the eyes to act as the flowing angle change that separates the eye socket from the padding in the cheek and nose area. Some more finishing touches include defining the head shape to better match the original image, pulling up the shoulders to have more of a hunched look, and pulling the eyes forward a bit so they line up proportionately with the mouth. And now the head for Jeff the Killer is pretty much sculpted.
Yeah, the cutting his eyelids off so that he's always got the big wide open eyes. It looks creepy and all, but it's not like practical to like real life because after a while your eyes would probably shrivel up, get all dry, you'd go blind because your eyelids are supposed to help moisten your eyeballs. So unless bro had some eye drops that he was regularly squirting into his eyes, he's blind, and they've also probably just like dried out and shriveled.
Now it's time for the hair. Admittedly, this will get a rework later on, but initially I'm considering taking the approach of stylized sculpted on the hair. It's sort of like how Lego hair looks, but ideally with more realism. As a base, we're adding a sphere tinted black and pulling its shapes to wrap around Jeff's head, with the exception of parts where the hair hangs low to the shoulders. We can use a snake hook brush here that's similar to a normal grabbing and moving brush, except it also adds a little more geometry when it does it, so we don't run out of faces to work with as quickly. We'll come back to define the actual strands later, but I'm going to go back to the head for now to do some even further adjustment. Initially just proportioning stuff and trying to get it to look better and closer to the OG image, but as we get a better shape we can take a moment to do some detailing. Human mouths generally have a bit of an overlapping fold at the corners of their mouth, where the fat pads from your cheeks overlap the muscles in the edge of your mouth, and it becomes more prevalent the wider you smile as it pulls farther into the cheeks. I later clocked that this probably wouldn't be entirely lore accurate for Jeff, considering his mouth is actually cut open, but
Yeah.
I'm mostly going off the image here, which doesn't really have any scarring or anything, so I'm just going to consider myself safe for now. And in the same way as those folds, I'm going to add some mass onto the corners of the mouth, slightly folding over the corners. Now it's time for the hoodie! Rather than creating a new object and pulling it around to fit the model, we're just going to draw a mask from the neck down, which is this black painting you're seeing on screen, and create a new object from that, which I can then pull out the back of to create the hood that Jeff has pulled down, using the mask to only edit the collar area of the hoodie, so the hoodie can fold over the back without pulling the whole thing down with it. In the same vein, we're using a brush that effectively inflates the surface and gives it a bit of a thickness and roundness around the collar area so that the sides of the hood can wrap around to the front. Hoodies aren't crazy complex, so all it needs is some smoothing to clean it up, and just like Slenderman's suit from earlier, we're drawing in some lines to act as the wrinkles, plus some holes in the front of the collar for the strings that you'd use to tighten the hood. The strings themselves will do after the fact, trust. Remember the hair? We're so back! And we're going to add a bunch of lines that flow down into the shape of the hairline to give the appearance of the hair. Again, this gets reworked later, but at least you get the concept.
Yeah.
It's the last touch, and now we just need to retopologize it. However, unlike Slender, Jeff has a face. No, not a nose, mind you, but it's a step closer. That means that instead of relying on shrink wrap modifiers here, we're going to actually have to do it all manually. So that's what we'll do, drawing in edges around the floor of the eyes and mouth and enveloping it all around the head and shoulders to create an optimized version of our Jeff sculpt. The same goes for the hoodie, all manual. It's once I get to the hair that I clocked two things. 1. Retopologizing something like this hair is going to be incredibly tedious, like prohibitively tedious.
Oh
At least
gosh.
if I were to fit the shapes perfectly. 2. This sucks. It's not the worst, but it's like not the most high effort hair model in the world. So, I came up with a new idea. I was still gonna retopologize the hair, but not super closely. We're just gonna get the basic shape, and that'll be the base
Wait,
of the hair.
wait.
But
Hang on.
not super closely. We're just gonna...
Oh, what Assassin's Creed game was it? Unity? Was that the one that really had the? I was gonna say Assassin's Creed Unity models be like.
Oh my god, rolling on the floor laughing.
Yeah, apparently some of that game was had a lot of bugs and glitches. Pretty sure it was Unity, right? It had a lot of bugs and glitches, and one of them was like most of the face model would be gone, so you would just have like floating eyes and teeth.
gonna get the basic shape, and that'll be the base of the hair. And what we're gonna do is use a technique known as hair cards. This gets used in a lot of video games, and the idea is that you have a hair texture.
Sporting
that
like
consists of a
Jeff,
lot
what
of
nice
strands.
hair.
And then you assign that texture to a flat plane, i.e. a card.
Who does
and
your
move it around the
hair?
head. With enough cards and a good enough placement, it should look like hair. Now, I don't have any hair textures lying around, and I can't in good faith just go steal one from a model rip, so I'm gonna look at some hair card textures and try to recreate it.
Oh,
to the
man's
best
got
of
his
my
standards.
ability. Sometimes this process uses more than one hair texture for more naturally believable looks, but we're just gonna go with the one for now. We can place these over the top of the head base we just did and try our best to align it to Jeff's theoretical hairline without having too many intersecting cards. I also have a shrink wrap modifier assigned to this, which only affects the hair cards at their roots, while the rest of it is just a little more free-flowing. It's not perfect, but I was pleasantly surprised with the result. Jeff has hair.
It looks a lot better than what he had
Methods.
going at
Same as
first.
before, it's all marking seams and figuring out what'll work so we can prepare Jeff for the texturing to come. There's not much variation in texturing Jeff compared to the texturing for Slenderman, and we're just drawing in the colors as per the original reference image, painting on those dark circles around the eyes and those big crimson lips. The gums are pink, and the teeth have a slightly yellow texture that's blended to have more yellowing at the roots of the teeth. And it's here that I noticed the way the baking process imprinted the sculpt onto the low polygon model here makes the teeth a little glitchy in between. To fix that, we can just draw in some lines in those edges with a height layer going inwards to simulate the depth better. Next up, we're creating layers for each part of the model respectively. Just like the Slender model, we actually receive the painted colors we did while sculpting as textures, but again we're going to create our own layers to replace them, so we can just have a bit more control. For the hoodie, we're just doing what we did for Slender Man's suit again, and creating a texture that uses the fabric pattern as its mask, with the layer itself affecting the height and the color to a lesser extent to create the appearance that the hoodie is in fact made of some kind of fabric. It's subtle in the sculpt and especially in the textures, but we'll place some metal rings around the holes on the hoodie where the strings would be with a black hole in the middle. That way it's more visibly a pair of string holes on the collar and not just a weird dent.
Yeah.
The baking of this sculpt into the model's textures,
What
just
music
like the
do
teeth,
you
also
like
has
at
left
Goth
a bit of
Mermaid
glitchiness
Gamer?
around the lower neck and shoulder areas of Jeff's body.
Well, one, you don't have to keep adding me, unless you're talking to one of the other chatters. I like all kinds of music. You can probably tell from the playlist that I play for the stream, but that's all music that won't really get you copyright claimed. But yeah, I pretty much like all kinds of music. My favorite though is like the metal genres, some rock, rock and metal. But I also really like music soundtracks. What the hell am I saying? Movie soundtracks is what I meant to say. There's a lot of movie soundtrack music that's really awesome. That I love listening to. Game music. I like opera. I like musicals. Music. Honestly, pretty much every genre, I'll probably find some songs that I like. So yeah. Yeah, if you were to actually look through my music library, yeah, you'd probably find something from like you'd find something from every genre. But yeah, as far as my most favorite goes, it's probably like rock and metal, different metal genres, and like opera musical stuff. That's probably some of my favorites.
Body. As a result, we'll draw in some dark shadowing in that area, both to cover it up, but also to make it look more like Jeff's really in that hoodie, you know? Speaking of the bake textures, same as last time, we can also use procedural wear and dirt here to give the surface some imperfections. Some dirt on the face, a little more on the clothes, and also a subtly noisy texture on the surface of the skin to emulate something akin to pores or the pockiness of his burnt skin. Either way, Jeff's textures are done, and all that's left is to create those hoodie strings. Just two mirrored cylinders stretched down with their UV maps aligned over the broad surface of the hoodie to match, and black for the aglets at the end.
Kudos to this guy for knowing what those little plastic end pieces on drawstrings like that and shoestrings are called. Aglets.
That's Jeff done.
Oh, and thanks to Phineas and Ferb, that's how I learned what they were called.
Now we can put his model to rest. Or to sleep. Like, go to sleep.
Looking
like
awesome,
his
another
cat
success for
is.
Jeff the Killer.
Yeah, it works.
Mm-hmm. Yikes. Like, terrible story, but to be fair, I would not want to see that face looking through my window. Or in the darkness.
That's 2 down, 1 to go. I think we're getting the hang of this. Should
Who's
only need
next?
One more to open up. Door, what will it be?
Age 64.
Agreed, I never want to see that
let's see
face in
here.
the dark.
Mm-hmm.
The Russian sleep.
Oh no.
story in which 5 people are put into a test chamber and
Oh,
dosed
I
with a
didn't know you
powerful
liked
stimulant that
Finers and
prevents
Ferb.
sleep.
I loved that
Said
series
tests
as a
take
kid.
place in
I'm
a
so
Soviet-era
excited
testing
for the
lab,
revival.
and said
Oh, are they making a revival? Oh, nice. Yeah, I mean, it might have been. Well, I don't know. That's one of those shows that really all ages could watch because it's just one of those types of shows. But I was gonna say I was kind of I was still in
Yup,
a
they're officially coming back.
nice. Is it gonna be like an adults thing? Like they're all grown up, kind of like how like that last episode or whatever it was, where it showed them all in college. By the way, I'm so happy that Ferb X Vanessa was confirmed canon. Woohoo! But I think I was already grown up when that show was on. Like I was like a young
I
adult.
think a continuation from the OG series.
All right. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I was already like a young adult when it was on, but yeah, it was still good. Like I said, it's just one of those shows that all ages could watch it and enjoy it.
stimulants are given by pumping the room with
Those are the best kinds of shows.
Suffice to say, things don't go well when the stimulants are cut off, and the test subjects fight to stay awake by ripping off skin and just going absolutely berserk. Accompanied with the story was this absolutely harrowing image, presumably meant to be one of the subjects given the context. If it gives you the heebie-jeebies, not to worry. It's not real, if you didn't figure that out already, but
I will admit that's one of those creepypasta pictures that for the longest time I could not look at that shit. I refused to look at it because it was so creepy. Don't show that to me! But,
The Russian sleep experiment, another well-known.
yep. Have you guys, I mean, you probably haven't, it's less like a lesser known, like, indie kind of production, I think, but they made a movie for it. It's just called The Sleep Experiment because they changed it from Russia to Ireland. But, I don't know. I thought it was a pretty decent adaptation. I liked it. I enjoyed it.
it's not a Photoshop job either. Well, unless you count the black and white color scheme.
Yeah, if you want to go look it up, it's just called The Sleep Experiment.
It's actually a life-size Halloween decoration.
It's a
with
Halloween decoration.
spasm. Pretty gnarly. It's nowhere near as intimidating when you look at the real thing, though. The lighting and desaturation do wonders for this thing's aura. The story itself was quite popular in its 2010 release, and its writer was a user by the name of Orange Soda. Looking at the picture
Yummy.
itself, it looks to be an emaciated person hunched on a chair and a big toothy grin visible past their tight skin and a very defined bony face. While the spasm decoration is literally what this is a picture of, I'm gonna go ahead and only use it for reference, since it's clear the picture used for the creepypasta was intended with some visual trickery in mind.
Yeah.
The body is angled so you can't quite tell they're wearing a straitjacket, the muzzle on the side isn't really that visible, and because of the lighting and coloration you can't really tell that there's a head wrap on there. It reads
Yeah.
more like weathered skin. So, while it may raise some eyebrows, I'm adapting this as I see it in the picture, rather than the spasm itself. And once again,
But of
we'll
course.
start with our sculpting base and work from there. I'm starting off on the torso, since it's going to be the area with the most normal anatomy.
Have
and
you
I can
heard
just
of
use
this one
reference to drawing the
creepypasta
muscles
called
in
the
that area.
Smile Dog?
This is again stuff like
Oh my god, Smile Dog, shut up. That's another one where I can't stand the picture. Both pictures, actually. The one where it's just the husky, and then the one where it's like all demonic, like the evolution of whatever that's called, the change version of it when it gets even creepier looking. The transition or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I can't either picture, especially the demonic version of it. Ugh. That's another one. Like I said, I can't stand the picture. Or
traps,
pictures in
pets,
this
and
case.
Sternocleidomastoid. Just love saying it. The creature in the image has a pretty defined bone structure, so we'll need to make that reflect in the model. We'll draw in some lines to define the jawline and dig in a mouth just above it. That way we can show off all those big gnarly teeth. I'll get to modeling in a minute, but for now we're gonna get the rest of the forms of the head in. That means creating some eye sockets and brow lines and drawing in those cheekbones. And guess what? We finally have a character with a nose! I'm
Woohoo!
adding a rough one on the front that's more of a bump at this point, and throwing in 2 spheres for eyeballs. This is just a rough
Same, my
go-over
friend.
for
Never
everything, so I'm
thought
not
I
trying
would
to get
see a
into math
horrifying
perfectly
dog
just
from the
yet. I'm
first
just trying to
picture
get
to the
you know,
second
a
all
head.
lighted red picture.
Now we can get those teeth in, and it's essentially the
Definite
same process
nightmare
as the one
fuel.
we did for Jeff. We make a C shape for the gums and a bunch of smaller, longer shapes for the teeth. Except this time, rather than more humanoid teeth, the subject for this Russian sleep experiment has much more monstrous ones, appearing longer and sharper. Once we've got that in our scene, we can put them in place, and we can move on to adjusting some more shapes. The subject in the photo has a pretty hunched over look, and as a result, we'll need to make the torso reflect that. That means pulling up the shoulders and pulling the whole torso back a bit so that the neck can be more slouched forward.
Nice.
Now I can start getting into more of the nitty gritty. The subject has a
The
pretty
nitty-gritty.
bulbous head. I think that's on account of the head wrap, but since we're treating this all as skin, I'll just adjust that slightly on the head, and then go on to the face. We're defining the nose a bit here, giving some nostrils and adding mass to the front of the nose, moving on up to the brow where we can draw in the muscles that come up from the brow into the forehead, and defining the skull structure into the sides of the head.
Dude looks like a piranha.
The eyes will take a bit to adjust on account of their sort of dead-eyed vacant stare, but we can at least get those eyelids in to better illustrate the shape and give the area around it a rounder and more organic appearance. The front of the forehead on the original reference is actually pretty sloped back, so we're going to pull back on those shapes a bit since the initial build-up is a bit intense and gives it a bit too much of an angry caveman look.
Yeah.
Going around some other contours
The
of
sleep
the face, we're adding in
experiment
some
picture
lines to
probably
pinch
a
in the edges of
closest
the
thing
lips
to
a bit
real
and make
life
the laugh lines
Baraka.
under the cheekbones a little clearer.
Baraka? Oh, yeah.
It's gonna take a bit to get the nose right, but the rest
Oh
of the
my
sleep
gosh, I'd
experiment
hope he'd
seems
be a
like
little
pretty
more
prominent
handsome than
nose
that.
bridge,
MK1
sloping outwards
Baraka
rather
is
than
very
inwards with a
handsome.
slight downward turn.
Yeah, shut up, I
Also
said
has
it.
a bit of a longer face than what
I
we've
don't
been
want to hear
working
no
with,
shit
so
about me
some
saying that.
stretching is in order. But if we just stretch and grab everything with a move brush and pull it up, it'll stretch everything with it and look pretty sloppy. So we're placing a mask over the bottom half of the head instead, just below the nose, and pulling it up that way, just like we did with Jeff earlier if you remember. With a better idea of the head shape, we'll make some quick adjustments before getting back into the details. This time, around the mouth. Like sculpting in some of the padding around the jaw and the bottom lip, plus those folding corners on the mouth that I mentioned earlier when we were working on Jeff. Some more touch-ups on the side profile and we'll smooth over everything. We're not too far into finer details yet, so we can afford to do this without losing much, and we'll adjust the shapes of the mouth and nose a little bit more. Now we can add a few details back.
He's got
in,
a Sherlock Holmes
sculpting around
nose.
the brow and eyelids and defining the cheek wrinkling just a bit more, as well as defining the edges between the eye sockets and eyelids, since the original character has a pretty thin distance between the brow and eyelids, which is something that varies between people.
Yeah.
Now we're going onto some surface detail. The subject of the sleep experiment has pretty rough looking skin, no doubt as a result of being starved and going feral with his fellow test subjects. So, it's time to sculpt in those gnarly wrinkles and bumps. We'll change our sculpting brush up a little, still using the same one we've been using to add mass, but this time we're changing the alpha. The alpha is essentially the shape of our brush, and by default it's a square shape, which lets us define pretty hard shapes and get the forms in. But now that we're moving on to the finer organic details, we'll use a circular alpha, which should have a smoother and more natural result when we sculpt. We're going over the model, creating the tautness of the skin by drawing the lines that give the illusion of skin being pulled back over the face, and adding in smaller folds and wrinkles under places that line the laugh lines, eyelids, and jaw area. A lot of these wrinkles are also going along the grain of the face muscles, that way it looks more natural rather than looking like we just drew a bunch of lines haphazardly over this thing. We'll also throw in a line on the back to
nose
better
itch.
define the traps and draw some mass in between so the line isn't too extreme. From there, we can make some adjustments to the head shape just to make sure it looks how we want, and then make a final pass on the nose to make sure it really lines up with the reference. I'm also painting in the pupils and stuff, but that's not really here or there. Again, it's just so I can get
Oh
an
my
idea of where
God.
we're going. Now we can work on retopology.
Those eyes,
The
Jesus
teeth are
Christ.
already good to go since we created a base for them earlier that's pre-optimized, and I can just make some new lower resolution spheres for the eyeballs, so it's all a matter of getting the sculpt retopologized. There's no tips or tricks here.
Ooh,
This is a
excuse
full-on
me.
face, and a full-on face deserves a full-on retopology. I still have the modifiers I
Jesus,
like
the
to
black
use for this.
eyes.
A mirror
Yeah,
modifier,
that's what I'm
a
saying.
subdivision modifier, and a shrink wrap modifier. But we're going over all of it manually, marking out edges around crucial areas like the eyes, nose, and mouth, and then connecting their faces and working outwards to the rest of the head. There's some guides on the way you should align your topology on a human face, but for the most part what you see is a general idea of how it should be laid out, with some variation on the cleanliness of the process. We're not aiming for a model built for animation as much as being for display, so the amount of care we need to put into this is less of a strong point. That being said, I don't think it's half bad. That's a Russian sleep experiment if I've ever seen one. And once again, there's not many places to hide our seams for the UV unwrapping. So, we're placing them on the sides of the head, the edges of the inside of the mouth, and around the neck leading out into the sides of the shoulders. That way, we should have a pretty even distribution of UV islands on our texture space, and ideally that means an even distribution of texture quality.
You got an
across the board.
overbite like me.
For the textures, I'm aiming for a relatively pale appearance here to try and emulate the grey palette of the original picture, but I am throwing in a splash of colour in so it can look a little bit more alive, and I'm actually using the painting on the original Spasm prop as reference for that. Initial steps are to add the base colours, a dark crimson for gums and a greyish colour for the teeth, with some yellowing closer to the roots. The eyes use a dark base with light faded into the middle. That way it looks like the eyelids are shadowing in the edges of the eyes, and we're also drawing in some pretty huge pupils.
Oh my god.
It's not really visible in the picture, but it felt right to
If
throw in
there's
some
one
barely
creepypasta
visible
that you were
irises,
so
and also some
terrified
dark
and
veins
never
around
want
the
to
edges
look
of the
at, what
eyeballs
would
to
it be
really
and
give
why?
off that crazed and horribly
I don't know, that's kind of hard to decide. I mean, I guess this one was pretty unsettling. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to think on that one. I just know the ones visually that freak me out, but as far as, like, reading them and freaking me out, like I said, this one was kind of unsettling. I think Ted the Caver, like the OG creepypasta, that one especially gets to me because I'm claustrophobic. Like, very claustrophobic. Oh, excuse me. Damn, it's only 2:25 in the afternoon. Why am I yawning? I guess I'm just always tired. But yeah, I guess, yeah. Ted the Caver is a good one, like I said, because it personally gets to me because I'm very claustrophobic. But yeah, as for any other, I'd have to really think on it. I know which ones I like. Like I told y'all last time, I really enjoy,
Opinion respected.
Oh, thank you. I know I like, Mr. Widemouth, and I like, I liked, Mr. Mix, except for the last part. If they just cut that last dumb part off, then it would be a better story. But yeah, as far as being scary and unsettling, yeah, I'd have to really think on it, aside from Ted the Caver, like I said. And this one.
sleep-deprived look. We'll also give the gums a little height detail around the edges of the teeth to look like they're really rooted in there, as well as some surface brushing on the teeth with some height layered in. That way those...
Oh, yeah, another one that I'll say was pretty unsettling was, I mean, even though I'm not religious, so, like, the last line that he says doesn't really have an effect on me. Like, just like in, Abandoned by Disney, that's a really good one, but, like, I'm not religious, so the God shit doesn't really creep me out. What is the name of that one? Gateway to the Mind was pretty... That one was pretty trippy and kind of unsettling. Being cut off from all your senses, and then he slowly goes insane.
Those pearly whites aren't looking too perfect.
Claims he can hear the dead talking to him and all that.
Of the
yeah.
mouth black, and
That one's pretty
illuminated,
unsettling,
so the
too.
inside can be obscured in shadows. We can't really see much of the mouth past the teeth, so there's no point getting too detailed with it. Hey, do you remember that we get special textures from baking the high detail model into the lower detail model's textures? Same principle
Yes.
here, and we're using some of those textures to define the details in the face better by adding in an ambient occlusion texture that creates subtle shadowing, and a curvature texture that exaggerates the fold and angles of our experiment. Now it's time for actual skin coloration. Since this guy's meant to be a super pale, I'm using a slightly grayed color as the base and then painting over it with a bunch of colors. The way colors on the face are distributed are generally sanctioned, at least in the context of texturing, by the distribution of blood, fat, and hair, represented by red, yellow, and blue respectively. Obviously that isn't the one-all be-all rule for it, but it's the way I like to go about it, and there's some pretty useful references out there on how to lay it all out. Rather than using straight red for the blood though, I want it to look more sickly, so instead of a smooth blush over those areas, I'm using a more scattered dirt brush with a closer color to purple or maroon, which gives off more of the look that a lot of these blood vessels are either burst or damaged, or is otherwise just not in great condition.
Yeah.
Now, suffice to say,
Not in great condition is putting it lightly for the people in this experiment.
this guy isn't very fatty, so a lot of the yellowing is going along places that are generally more padded up, like the cheeks, brow, chin, and nose, although the nose is less for fat and more for cartilage. But
Yeah.
since blood vessels are pretty crowded there, it's also going to be
Yup,
overtaken by a lot of the red for the most part. The bluer parts I'm going to put less focus on, if not outright ignore it, on account of the fact that this thing is super duper bold. But usually you'd see it on the tops of the head and the jaw area respectively if you're curious. We're gonna readjust our curvature texture a bit. Rather than just using the color, we're incorporating a bit of the height layer to it, which should even further define those wrinkles and make it just
Oh
look
my
a bit
God.
more extreme. I'm sure that's a bit of a no-no in texturing, since it's kind of just doubling up on the detail that's already there, but I'm just doing what I think looks right. This results in a little bit of artifacting on the teeth, but since we don't need the curvature as much on those teeth, we can just erase it out in those areas. We'll add a bit more red into the textures in places that really have a lot of blood vessels packed in, since the previous blood colors we did were more broad strokes. This time we're using a slightly redder color over these higher density areas like the lips, nose, and eyelids. I also noticed that the original Spasm prop has some vomit or froth of some kind coming out of the mouth, and at a closer
Ooh, he
glance, it's visible in
does.
the Russian sleep experiment photo too. So we're gonna add that in. Since I'm painting this right onto the face, I can't use any transparency for this since it'll just fade right through the head. So we're gonna have to make it convincing using some
Well, considering in the story they're like eating each other, they're like cannibalizing each other and ripping stuff up. Not even for eating. Sometimes they use their teeth just to tear apart. But I'd imagine they would have some kind of
I'll
yucky.
be right back, buddy. I won't be long.
Okay, Zayden. I imagine they would have some yuckiness around their mouth.
height layering and a blur filter to make it look less intense. The bubbling on its surface also has its own height layer, and it's a bit wider to illustrate the fact that it's coming off the surface of the face a bit more, and we'll just experiment with the colors and shininess until we get something that looks right. I thought it looked a little odd to have that froth there without any other stains, so I also created a separate layer with just shininess so I can draw in around that area to give the appearance of saliva stains around the mouth. It's at this point that I decided to get rid of the grayed irises entirely in favor of big black pupils, which is more true to the original image, and despite it probably being
Oh my
different,
God.
I also added some pinprick white dots in the center to reflect the shininess of the eyes in the original image, that feel like they're directing the eyes right to you. For a final touch on the skin, we're adding in those procedural dirt textures again. This just helps the surface have more of an organic wear and create some more imperfections without having to go over all of it manually. And once again, this process is just using the baked textures we got from applying the sculpt details to this model. And that closes out the textures and the model itself. Gaze upon the emaciated form of the Russian sleep experiment.
Wow.
Let's see how we did.
That is incredibly creepy.
Acceptable result. The price has been paid.
Yes!
Oh
Finally!
god, bright light. Ugh. Ow, my eyes.
Alrighty, I'm back.
Eee, what, you want to see the, hang on, you want to see the final result of the, last sculpture?
Sleep experiment. Let's see how we did.
And officially succeed the creepypasta.
Yep.
Acceptable result. The price has been paid.
Okay, now get back to where we were. Whoa, what's happening? Ah, my eyes.
After all this time, I've waited so long. I've brought the essence of 3 creepypasta figures into existence, into the 3rd dimension. And now that I've paid the price, I can finally get what I've been searching for. A new entity to bring to power. The newest in the line of eldritch horrors. My own creepypasta villain! Behold! Enib! Hey, it's Hib. Enib. We can work on that one. Go on, get out of here.
Bro looks tweaked
Looks like
out.
it's done. Hey, thanks for coming along. I wanted to get something done for the Halloween season, and I'm pretty happy.
It's November.
Reading creepypastas as they got popular, and it's fun to get some creative expression out of them. Hopefully you enjoyed it too, and if you liked it enough to support the video, engagement like commenting or liking the video helps push it out to the algorithm. And if you want to be there for the next big thing, subscribing's probably the best way to keep tabs on me. I'll be out with another video this month, so keep an eye out. And yeah, I mean this month. I missed October by a skid, but hopefully you'll forgive me. With that out of the way, I'll see you for whatever we end up doing next. Thanks again, everyone.
Alright.
Thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring this video.
Oh my god, why are you being so slow? Holy crap. Okay. Okay.
That was fantastic.
Yeah, it was. I love watching videos like that. I love art, and that is a form of art, so I like watching stuff like that. So, we're gonna take a little break since that video was almost an hour long. I'm gonna set this one up.
Guys, I don't know if you know this about me.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold your horses, man. Alright, so I'm going to put you guys on the Be Right Back screen. This time I'll remember the music. And I'll be back after a short little break. So let's get my music player up. Behave. Okay, back. You guys behave yourselves? Yeah, I think you did. I trust you guys. Alright, let's get back to our video. I took a leak, grabbed a snack and a drink, and I'm ready to go.
Welcome back, my friend, smiling face.
You too, Zayden, you too. Alright. This one is... This isn't my generation, but some of y'all it may be. The Gen Z internet trauma iceberg. Like, even though I'm not Gen Z, I still was on the internet around the same time myself, so I could probably relate to some of these.
But I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. I'm Gen Z, and chances are, if you're a fan of my YouTube videos,
Did you hear the "get out" sound effect?
you might be Gen Z too, or you clicked on this video because you wanted to learn about what traumatized us Gen Zers when we were kids. But yeah, I saw this iceberg and I wanted to cover it because it seems...
Well, like I said, I'm an old millennial, but I was still on the internet at the same time, so I could still be traumatized by shit, even if I wasn't a kid.
so nostalgic for me, you know, so hopefully it'll be nostalgic for you too. Now, this one in particular is about internet trauma, because this iceberg I found is huge, so if this video does good, I'm going to be covering the other parts of it. There's like, actually let me check so I'm not lying to you. Okay, there's TV, movies, gaming, reality, nature, urban, legend, music. That one seems kind of boring. I don't think I'm gonna do that one. But you get the idea. There are a lot of Gen Z trauma like filters on this iceberg that I'm gonna cover.
Oh, what's the music one gonna be? Friggin' Tiny Tim, Tiptoe by the Window, even though that's not a scary song. But Insidious made it creepy. Which I have seen Insidious, by the way. That was a good movie. Holy shit, the ending. Poi. Okay, he sounded like somebody else. I was having to make sure who did. Poi is the guy who does this video. The Benadryl iceberg. Yeah, Benadryl, the Hat Man.
Nostalgia, traumatized, or whatever, always memories to remember.
Yep. The Benadryl Hat Man. Yeah, I never myself experienced that because I can't take Benadryl. I'm sensitive to it. It makes me sick. But, honestly, I'm not sure I would want to experience the Benadryl high where you see the Hat Man.
If you guys like this one. Anyways, go ahead and follow my Instagram, join my Discord, all that stuff. You know, let's hang out, we have fun there. And let's get into this disturbing...
Diddy parties, what was that?
After this, it will not be my face anymore because I've learned from the analytics and the views that you guys do not like seeing my face too much. So yeah.
Oh, that's not nice. You're a good-looking guy.
Let's kick off this iceberg with creepypasta.
Of
A term
course.
that you've probably heard a million times. These stories are like modern urban legends, scary tales shared and spread across various online platforms. If you grew up in the early 2010s, you likely found yourself deep in forums or YouTube channels dedicated to these narratives. From the freaky vibes of Slender Man to the infamous tale of Jeff the Killer, creepypasta became a staple for anyone looking to get spooked. You might be wondering what makes creepypasta so captivating. For many, it's the idea that these stories could be real, or at least feel real enough to give you goosebumps. They often tap into common fears, like the fear of the dark or the unknown, and as a kid, you probably stumbled upon a tale that made you question whether it was safe to go to bed or take a walk alone. The shared experience of reading these stories created a community of young people who bonded over their love for horror. You know, let's talk about some of the most notable characters in the creepypasta universe. Slender Man is a prime example. He's that tall, faceless figure haunting the woods, a symbol of dread and mystery. Many kids encountered him through...
Oh, if you see my model moving around funny or whatever, it's probably because I'm eating my snack. So yeah.
memes or fan art, turning
Don't
him
mind
into a
that.
pretty iconic figure in horror culture. Then there's Jeff the Killer.
Oh,
whose
God.
unsettling smile and tragic...
Now, see, that's one of the... I'm trying not to look at it. That's one of the Jeff the Killer pictures that I can't stand to look at. That's one of the creepier ones.
Backstories struck a chord with those grappling with feelings of isolation and anger, and other characters like Ben Drowned and Sonic.exe added to this mix, each bringing their
It's all
own
good.
unique flavor of fear. We'll dig deeper into these stories later, but these characters really show how creepypasta captured the imagination of a generation. Reading creepypasta felt like a rite of passage for many Gen Z kids. It was more than just stories, it was about exploring fears together, sharing late night discussions at like middle school sleepovers, and discovering what really creeped you out. These tales provided an escape into a world where the ordinary turned sinister, and it offered a safe place to confront the unknown
soda.
without being in any real danger. I know I was scared of a bunch of creepypastas when I was a little kid, bruh. I'm 18 now, but like, holy shit.
Oh, him's a
Let's talk about
baby.
Jeff the Killer. If you grew up in the early 2010s, you probably remember the creepy story of a kid named Jeff who was bullied until he snapped. After a bunch of terrible stuff happens, he ends up looking all messed up and becomes a killer. The image of Jeff with his
Oh god, I had to pause it right on that picture. Oh shit, Mike, where are you going? Come back here. Hold on. Speaking of him, there is, hang on. Let me find him. Just a sec. Where's... Okay, why isn't the... Whatever. Where is it? Let's see if it pops up.
So with the Jeff picture you're alright with the first picture back in the last video, but with that other one you're scared.
Well, it's like, yeah, the first one's still kind of unsettling because of them big ol' stop staring at me with them big ol' eyes, boy. But one's like the one showing in the video now, where somebody made it extra creepy. Yeah, those ones really get to me. Let me see. Oh, Creepcast. Creepcast Reddit. Go watch Creepcast. They're awesome. Where is it? Let's see if it comes. Yeah, The Morgue Files. This one, The Morgue Files by David Neer. That has to be, and you know, Postura's take on it was really awesome too. But this one here probably is one of the best versions of the story.
I can understand a lot.
Oh yeah, thank you. But yeah, this here is probably like one of the best versions of the story that I've ever heard. It's read out to you like it's an audiobook and has like, sound effects and all. It's kind of like a radio play that you're listening to. It's really good, and it has to be like probably the best version of the story I've heard aside from Postura's version. This one here. If you can see it, I kind of have the thing blown up, but yeah. But yeah. I don't know how much of that you saw because I had to have the window blown up because the search bar wasn't showing up. But I told you, yeah, David Neer is the name of the channel, and it's The Morgue Files #2. That's the best Jeff the Killer story, one of, that I've heard.
Pale skin, black hair, and that weird stretched smile that I've already used in the editing probably became super famous in the creepypasta community. What makes Jeff so scary is how his story feels real. A lot of you
bit my
might
lip.
have
Ow,
seen
shit.
bits of your own experiences in his story, even if it's like an extreme version, like an exaggeration. The idea that someone
Very
can be
exaggerated.
pushed and bullied to do such awful things really hits home in a weird way. At least for, us little baby Gen Z kids when we read this when we were like, I don't know, like 9 or 10.
Oh no, I get that. Everybody, pretty much everybody has. Even I, definitely have had that, I've been there, man. Back in school, getting bullied and harassed by asshole kids. Yeah, I think everybody's, the basic premise, or, the basic idea of, bullied kid finally snaps, I think everybody can understand that. That's relatable.
And his catchphrase, "go to sleep," only adds to the creepiness. It wasn't just a story, it was also like a reminder of how bullying and loneliness can lead to something pretty dark.
Yeah.
It's like BoJack Horseman for kids. Jeff the Killer also got a ton of fan art, stories, and memes, making him a staple in internet horror. If you ever came
Yeah, the fangirls had to ooh-woo anime boy him, and yeesh. That kind of ruined what little bit of a good reputation he had.
across a Jeff the Killer video or creepypasta at a sleepover, like I did, it probably left you feeling uneasy. It was like a reminder of how scary the internet can be. I don't know if this is going to be later in the iceberg, but I want to at least bring it up once. I remember I was like 7th grade, 6th grade, something like that, maybe 5th, and my friend came over for a sleepover, and we watched like those videos of like the obviously fake like alien creatures walking around security cameras, like
Oh yeah, the night crawlers. Who just look like a pair of pants walking around. And who, Captain Disillusion, which is an amazing YouTuber who debunks viral videos that look incredible, amazing and incredible, or supposedly supernatural, paranormal, whatever. He basically goes in and debunks it and show you how they probably did it, or how they most definitely did it with their computer editing tricks and all that. He basically showed how you could easily just have like a green suit and then just like over your top, and then your pair of pants there, and then just walk and go into editing and crop out the green screen part of your body, which is your top half, and blammo, you have night crawlers.
people's backyards, and that shit scared the fuck out of us, bro.
Well, it is creepy looking.
Oh my god, that shit fucked us so bad. But anyways, you guys don't want to hear about my little personal anecdotes. Let's move on. Slender Man. Next up is Slender Man, a character that scared the daylights out of kids in the 2010s.
Excuse me.
He started as a simple photo manipulation contest entry in 2009, but quickly grew into an urban legend. Slender Man is often depicted as a tall, skinny figure with no face wearing a black suit. He's known for stalking kids and taking them away, and this image of a lurking figure in the woods became a nightmare for a lot of you. The thing that really hits home about Slender Man is how he represents the fear of the unknown. When you hear about him, it's not just about a creepy story, it taps into that feeling of being watched,
Excuse me.
especially in a world where you're always online. Many of you probably played games like Slender the 8 Pages, where you had to collect pages while
I didn't play them, but I watched people like Marky Moo here. Yeah, play it.
avoiding him. The anxiety of hearing that unsettling music as he got closer made it a heart-pounding experience, and it definitely left you glancing over your shoulder. Slender Man also took a dark turn in real life when 2 girls in 2014
Oh, that story
attacked
again.
a classmate, claiming they did it for Slender Man. This horrifying incident blurred the lines between the fiction of the story and the reality of reality, and it made everyone take a step back and think about how powerful these online myths can be. Yeah, if you were part of the Slender Man craze back in the day, you probably remember the mix of fascination and fear that he brought into your life. Next up, let's talk about Rule 34. If you've spent any time online, especially in your teenage years,
Oh no.
you've likely come across this
Ain't no babies need to know what that means. If you're under the age of 18, you don't need to know what that means. And if you already do, wow, thanks, Internet.
infamous rule that states, if it exists, there's porn of it. It's a strange and unsettling concept that probably hit you when you
Yeah,
were
I can't
looking
show
for
any
something
images for this
innocent,
one. Yeah,
but ended up in a
understandably.
bizarre corner of the internet instead. Whether it was your favorite childhood cartoon or a popular game, the realization that anything could have adult content was shocking, to say the least. For me, it was on a Minecraft server. By the way, if you guys remember me from those Minecraft servers, bro, Poi was my name on there too. Okay, so if anybody remembers me from those Minecraft servers,
Knew
leave
of
a
it at
comment.
age
For many
12
of you,
LOL.
discovering Rule 34 was like a rite of passage. It was both hilarious and
Knew of it
awkward,
at age
shattering
12.
the innocence of
Oh
what you
gosh,
thought you
I'm
knew
so
about your
sorry
own
your
character.
innocence was
Imagine
shattered.
searching for something like SpongeBob SquarePants only to find extremely inappropriate fan art. It pushed the limits of what you thought was acceptable, and it, especially at like a young age, it made you like laugh and cringe all at once. The memes and jokes that came out of Rule 34 also contributed to a shared experience among friends. You probably remember laughing with your buddies over outrageous finds or warning each other to be careful what you search.
Like, yes, admittedly, I go on that site, but I'm also 34. You babies, don't you be going on that site.
For. It was a testament of how internet culture can take something innocent and turn it into something completely ridiculous. Next up, we got DeviantArt, a place where a lot of
I used to be on
kids explore
DeviantArt
their
until I got sick of their
creativity.
shit.
But, you know, with this iceberg being about trauma, that's not where it ends. DeviantArt kind of goes with Rule 34 because you might look up, you know, like Minecraft Alex on
Minecraft.
and not find what you were looking for. And also
Yeah.
there's like a bunch of creepy shit on DeviantArt too, so maybe that's what the iceberg's talking about. Okay, next.
Yeah, like, I'll go on DeviantArt looking for... Sometimes, like, stuff that could be innocent, like, I'll look up big muscular people because, you know, I need, like, art references and stuff. Or I'll look up stuff for mermaids or just, you know, any kind of art references. You can go on there looking for, you know, pretty innocent stuff. You just type in the words. You don't even have to have any naughty words in it. You can just type in simple words like that. And a lot of it
Probably
will
be the time to ask Thomas to pour some bleach just like Scorpion.
Oh, Tomas, where's the eye bleach? Come on, Smokey Bear, share that eye bleach. Yeah, some of it is like, oh wow, there's porn. I didn't. That's not what I asked for. And then some of it is even just, oh my god, I'm gonna pretend like I didn't see what I just saw.
Next up, we got the Kayfee Screamer, a classic internet.
Oh
prank
no, that
caught
one.
A lot of people off guard. If you were online in the mid-2000s, you might remember this creepy ad
Yeah.
that looked harmless at first. Starts off with a calm, relaxing scene advertising Kayfee, but just when you think it's safe, a loud scream and terrifying face pop up on your screen. It was designed to give you a massive jump scare, and so many people fell for it, bro. This was also like a rite of passage for a lot of Gen Zers, like watching your friends get scared, you know, and like sending it to your friends like, oh dude, check this out. My friends still do it.
Mid 2000s, I wasn't a child, I was a teenager. So yeah, it was still sort of kind of in the realm of childhood.
To me, bro. My friend still sends me like Instagram reels where it'll just be like a fucking spider jump scare at the end. It pisses me off, bro. With that, we are done with layer 1, so let's get into layer 2, starting with ghost caught on camera videos. If you spent time on YouTube in the 2010s, you probably came across tons of these creepy
2010s,
They
I
show
was an
supposed
older teen
evidence
to
of
a young
ghosts
adult.
and paranormal activity, with shaky footage of mysterious figures, eerie sounds, and all sorts of unexplained phenomena. Some of these videos felt so real that they sent chills down your spine, making you question what you believed about the supernatural. What made these videos particularly engaging was the way they tapped into your natural curiosity about the unknown.
Oh, such a
You might have
classic
watched them late
videos.
at night, hoping to catch a
Yep.
glimpse of something truly terrifying. They often featured grainy footage, creepy sound effects, and narratives that hooked you in. The thrill of potentially seeing something ghostly made these videos super popular, and they quickly spread
Booga
across
booga.
social media, making you share them with friends for a good scare. Some of these ghost videos were obviously staged, while others were more ambiguous, leaving you guessing whether they're real or just clever tricks. But yeah, this was another,
99% of the time, they're just clever
Next,
tricks.
let's talk about 4chan. This infamous image board has been at the center of many internet trends, memes, and let's be honest, some pretty disturbing content. It's
Yep.
a place where anyone can post anything, and while that led to a lot of funny memes, it's also given rise to some dark corners of the internet. For many Gen Z kids, encountering 4chan meant diving into a world that felt both fascinating and a bit terrifying. On 4chan, you could find anything from harmless memes to conspiracy theories and disturbing stories. It was like a wild west of the internet where rules didn't apply and anything went. Many of what you might have heard about or even experienced on the darker side of 4chan, like the infamous creepypasta threads,
I heard
felt
of
too
4chan
real,
from
and
a
the site
horror
was a
channel
breeding
I
ground for
watched.
internet culture, but it also
Yeah, I've
pushed
heard of
boundaries
4chan
in
mostly
ways that
through,
could
like,
make you feel
videos like
uncomfortable.
this.
Next up, we have ASDF movie deaths. These are a series of animated
Or
shorts
some
that
horror
became a
videos.
huge hit on YouTube. If you're part
Yeah.
of Gen Z, you probably remember watching these ridiculous and darkly humorous sketches that always ended up in some unexpected, often absurd death. The randomness of situations made them memorable and pretty funny, but there's also something unsettling about how casual the deaths were, especially, as a kid. The ASDF movie series, created by Tom Ska, blends comedy with a bit of dark humor,
Yeah, I've never actually watched these. I'm aware of them, but I never actually watched them.
catching many off guard with how quickly things can go from silly to shocking. You might have laughed at the over-the-top scenarios, but there was also a part of you that couldn't help but find it pretty weirdly disturbing. The stark contrast between the innocent setup and their ridiculous deaths made you
Kitty!
chuckle and cringe
Aw.
at the same time. These sketches also became a pretty big part of internet culture, with many fans quoting lines and sharing their favorite moments. You probably have a favorite death scene that still sticks in your mind. The absurdity of it all made these shorts iconic, and they were a staple of humor for a lot of Gen Z kids. Ben Drowned is a creepypasta that dives into unsettling territory, using the game The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask
Oh yeah,
to
Ben
create
Drowned.
an intricate horror story told over 3 separate arcs, spanning from 2010 to 2020. Now, for Gen Z childhood trauma, I guess we're probably focusing on just the 2010 iteration. I mean, I bet that's what all of us grew up with, but I'm gonna cover all of it anyways, just because this is a cool story. And this is my video. Fuck you. It's one of the most influential
My video, my
creepypastas ever
rules,
written,
deal with it.
setting up many now common tropes in the genre, while also introducing an interactive aspect that lets readers shape the story as it unfolds. Written by Alex Hall, Ben Drowned quickly became iconic, drawing fans into an eerie world where the lines between reality and the digital realm blur in disturbing ways. So, the story begins in 2010 with the first arc, The Haunted Cartridge. A college sophomore named Jay is given an old Nintendo 64, which soon leads him to a garage sale where he purchases a used Majora's Mask cartridge. An old man gives him the game for free, mentioning that it belonged to someone named Ben, who he ominously notes, quote, doesn't live here anymore. Intrigued, Jay boots up the game, only to find a save file labeled Ben. He tries to delete that save file and start fresh, but the game doesn't behave as expected. NPCs call him Ben even in his new save file, and soon they stop using any name at all. Jay documents his experiences on 4chan, detailing how he runs into more disturbing glitches in the game, including haunting images of a happy masked salesman and encounters with the Elegy of Emptiness statue, a blank, unblinking figure that seems to
Yeah, that
stalk
thing is
him.
creepy.
The game's glitches become increasingly personal and sinister. When Jay tries to drown Link instead of triggering the usual game over screen, Link clutches his head in agony as the image of the salesman flashes on the screen. The statue of Elegy begins to follow him, instilling a sense of dread as it seemingly refuses to let him escape the game's haunted world. As Jay continues his investigation, he finds that the game has inexplicably learned his actions. Disturbing messages like, "You shouldn't have done that," and "It's your turn," appear on screen, suggesting that Jay is not alone in this experience. A ghostly presence, implied to be the spirit of Ben, seems to manipulate the game and eventually even reaches out beyond the screen. Jay becomes convinced that Ben's spirit was trapped in the cartridge after a drowning incident, as evidenced by messages in the game's file and eerie interactions with the AI chatbot Cleverbot, which responds to him with cryptic, chilling phrases. Also, I don't know, he could have just, read the name of the creepypasta, Ben Drowned, dude, you fucking stupid, it took you that to get, just read the fucking name of the thing. Stupid idiot, Jay. Anyway, the second arc, Moon Children.
You've met with a terrible fate, haven't you? You shouldn't have done that.
Takes the horror legend of Jay's personal...
Admittedly,
The
those
second arc,
words are,
Moon
those
Children,
sentences are
takes
creepy.
the horror beyond Jay's personal experiences and onto a fan-created website dedicated to Ben Drowned called You Shouldn't Have Done That.
Yep, there it is. You
Fans
shouldn't have
uncovered
done
Ben
that.
was connected to a cult called the Moon Children, which performs disturbing rituals and believes in a prophecy about the moon's destruction of Earth. Through hidden messages and website interactions, fans learned of the cult's belief in ascensions, where members sacrifice themselves to become part of a higher plane. A figure known as the Father is revealed as a powerful entity within this world. Ben is somehow tied to this cult, as he was apparently a member sacrificed for this ascension. The site's posts loop every 3 days, much like the repeating 3-day cycle in Majora's Mask, revealing details about Ben's life, the Moon Children, and their apocalyptic beliefs. After the Moon Children arc went on hiatus, Hall returned in 2020 with the final arc, Awakening. Here, a new protagonist named Sarah awakens in a strange hotel room. She discovers a Nintendo 64 with the same haunted cartridge that Jay found years earlier. Sarah, drawn into the game world, confronts Ben's spirit and learns about his tragic fate. She's joined by an AI named Abel who warns her about a malevolent force called the Father, which, if you were paying attention earlier, you know who that is. As Sarah plays, she encounters ghostly NPCs and must choose whether to free Ben and other trapped souls by performing the 4th Day glitch, a maneuver from the game that allows players to extend time beyond the usual 3-day cycle. However, this glitch risks freeing the Father and resetting the world. Sarah ultimately decides to perform the glitch, unleashing the Father's power. Clocktown becomes overrun with cultists worshipping the Father, and Sarah faces a harrowing choice: join the Father or confront him. In the game's surreal final scenes, Sarah uses the Song of Healing to banish the last remaining obstacles and encounters the Father himself. As she presents the Pendant of Memories, the Father recognizes her as different from others who came before. He offers to reset the world and remove all anomalies, including Ben and other spirits. In the closing moments, Sarah's fate remains ambiguous as she fades, leaving only Link and the Yellow G statue to watch over Clocktown. So yeah, that's Ben Drowned. Fucked us up as kids. It gave me nightmares. It gave little boy nightmares.
Look at little nightmares.
A web series that blends cute puppery with some seriously dark themes.
It got copyrighted, so just enjoy this.
Really got me when I was a kid.
Oh,
If
you had to
stumbled
put that
upon
over
this
it.
show, you probably remember how it starts off looking like a children's program,
Again, I've heard of that, but I haven't actually seen it.
but quickly spirals into a bizarre and often creepy experience. Each episode tackles different themes like creativity or love, but they all take a twisted turn, leading to some unsettling and thought-provoking moments. The juxtaposition of the adorable puppets and the dark subject matter creates a unique viewing experience. You might find yourself just watching and maybe laughing like, what the fuck is this at first, only to feel uncomfortable as the story takes a sharp left turn. It's a brilliant way to explore real-life issues while keeping you on your toes. I mean, I still fuck with this show, low-key. For many Gen Z viewers, Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared feels like a commentary on the pressures of adulthood and creativity, all wrapped up in a quirky package. The memorable songs and visuals stick with you, making it a cult favorite. For me, I experienced this through the film theory videos about it, and then I tried watching one myself and I got too scared. The Herobrine creepypasta story is one of the most famous Minecraft legends, detailing a mysterious entity with white eyes who stalks players, creates unusual structures, and alters the landscapes of their worlds. It all started with a post in 2010 on the Minecraft forum, where user Flaky shared a story of encountering glowing white eyes in the game after listening to the 13 music disc. Which, if you don't remember from Minecraft, that's like the spooky, scary one. This initial post, along with eerie screenshots, marked the beginning of a tale that would evolve into the Herobrine phenomenon. Soon after, the story adapted into
Herobrine, I remember
with a default
him.
skin model but pure
Oh
white
yeah,
eyes
he's another
called
classic.
White Eyes. This figure supposedly appeared in Minecraft's dark caves and was said to stalk players from a distance. By August, this character had gained the name Herobrine, and new elements were added, including the notion that Herobrine was the ghostly brother of Minecraft creator Notch, who was supposedly haunting the game after his untimely death. Though Notch never had a brother, this idea only added to the mystery. Herobrine gained even more attention through the Brocraft livestreams. Streamer Copeland staged a hoax in August 2010, retexturing a painting to display Herobrine in his game, and then screaming and pretending to be terrified on his stream when he encountered it. He continued to build on the story by pretending that he was too shaken to continue playing, posting the footage on the Minecraft forum, and encouraging his viewers to spread the story. This led other players to create their own edited screenshots and videos, further cementing Herobrine's mythos within the Minecraft community. Fellow streamer Patamus also staged Herobrine sightings in his streams, though he was later overheard admitting the hoax, much to Copeland's frustration. This added the label, quote, him to Herobrine, which came from a website Copeland linked, showing a disturbing image of Steve's face with rolling eyes alongside text.
Oh,
that
are you
ominously
excited
told
for
viewers
Sonic
to,
the Hedgehog
quote,
3?
"Wake up,"
Almost
in all
gotta be
caps.
1 month till
Despite
it
the
comes
hoaxes,
out. I'm
Herobrine
so
quickly became an
excited to see
icon
it.
in the
I'm
Minecraft
gonna see it day one.
I have not seen the second one yet, so I need to watch that one first. Also, is everybody still there? I accidentally turned off the stream. I'm so sorry. Hello guys, you there?
So hyped for Shadow. I'm here.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I accidentally stopped recording this, or stopped streaming. My bad. I hit a button and accidentally stopped it. No, what I was gonna say, I was trying to back up the video a bit and just talk about this creepy picture right here with the hyper-realistic eyeball thing. But, yeah. I'm gonna have to go ahead and watch, Sonic 2, and then I'll be able to see Sonic 3. There's so many movies I need to catch up on. Okay.
Up in all caps. Despite the hoaxes, Herobrine quickly became an icon in the Minecraft community. Players began crafting their own stories, mods, and fan art. Various modders created plugins that allowed Herobrine to appear and behave as described in the stories, stalking players, creating traps, and destroying the environment. These mods fueled the belief that Herobrine could appear in the vanilla
I like
game,
Sonic 2, but anytime it cut to the humans, I could care less. LOL.
to summon Herobrine using altars, further deepening the lore and everything. Even as the developers confirmed,
I don't know, I kind of like the
a real
human
part of
parts
Minecraft,
in the
they
first movie.
occasionally joked about adding him, keeping the legend alive. Notch and others made tongue-in-cheek references, and Mojang even included him in official images and events such as Minecon 2011. And also, there's like the classic, every single update log has added Herobrine in it. Next up, we got Scary Maze Game.
Removed Herobrine.
The Scary
Oh,
Maze Game
screw
is
that
something a lot of
shit.
Gen Z kids will remember with a mix of laughter and fear. It looked innocent at first, just a simple game where you guided a dot through a maze with steady hands.
Ooh, I'm not looking.
The real goal
I'm
wasn't
not looking.
just to play, it was a setup for an unsuspecting friend or family member. Right when the game seemed to be getting hard, a terrifying screaming face, usually that of Regan from The Exorcist, would pop up on the screen, scaring whoever was playing out of their minds. This shit fucked me when I was a kid, bro. The game became viral in the mid-2000s as one of the original...
Yeah, I had to
screamer
turn away
pranks that
because
circulated
I didn't know if he was
online.
going to
Kids
show
would
it. He
share
didn't...
with friends.
I had to turn away because I didn't know if he was going to show it. He did show the fucking picture, which I had to turn away from, but thankfully he didn't play the actual, audio to it. Yeah, that's the type of shit I'm talking
My
about.
dad showed me this. LOL.
Well, your dad's a dick for doing that because that's not funny. It's not funny at all. That's the kind of shit I'm talking about. Do not show that shit to me, as we will no longer be friends. And if you try to show it to me on stream, you're getting banned permanently.
As a way to prank them and then laugh at their reactions. It was simple but effective.
It's not
It played
funny,
with trust that
though.
People had in their friends or the game itself.
I don't know why people think that's funny. It's not funny. Why is scaring someone half to death supposed to be funny? That is not funny at all. And in cases like me, it gave me panic attacks. I can't handle that sudden shock like that.
The jump scare was so sudden and loud that it was like almost impossible not to react. And ever since then, I've been scared of mazes and any weird video that my friend sends me that looks like too normal to be something that my friend would send me.
Well, he wouldn't be my friend, like I said. But, yeah, that's why if I don't know you well enough, I don't trust you when you say, hey, come over here to my computer, I want to show you something. If I don't know you well enough, I don't trust you.
Blue screen of death. The blue screen of death, or BSOD, is an icon of tech fear for anyone who grew up using a computer. If you've ever been in the middle of homework,
Sorry, my eye itched.
or just browsing the internet and suddenly saw that blue screen, you know the panic that comes with it. The blue screen of death would appear when Windows experienced a fatal system error, and it often meant
Yeah, except
that
now it
something
gives you the little
serious was
sad,
wrong with the computer. For a lot of
It gives
Gen
you a
Z
little
kids,
sad
it
face.
was the first real encounter with tech anxiety. Worrying if your PC was about to crash for good or if you just lost an important file or something. The blue screen of death dates back to the early versions of Windows.
Why is my eye itching?
In the 2000s, as computers became more common in homes and schools. And the one that we have now is like nice, you know, and it has like the little smiley face and shit. But the one that we had back then, dude, the codes and technical jargon it
I think
displayed
it
were
just depends
intimidating,
on the
making
person.
it
You'll
feel
never
even
do
scarier
that
when you
to
had
someone
no
I
idea
barely
what it
know.
meant. And
Yeah,
it seems so
exactly.
iconic that now it's used as a meme and a symbol
That's
of
a
frustration.
good way to
Salad
go about it.
fingers.
Yeah, if you
Salad
don't
Fingers was
know
one of the
them well
most
enough, so you don't know how
unsettling
they'd
web
react.
series
Yeah,
that Gen Z stumbled upon
that
during
definitely would
late-night
make you a
YouTube
dick.
binges like I did. Created by David Firth, this animated series first appeared in 2004 and quickly gained
Again, aware of it, never saw it.
a cult following for its eerie atmosphere, strange main character, and cryptic storyline. Salad Fingers is a green, thin creature with long, spindly fingers who enjoys touching rusty objects and speaks in a soft, creepy voice. Each episode felt like a fever
rusty
dream, blending dark
spoons.
humor with bizarre, uncomfortable themes that kept viewers hooked. For many, discovering Salad Fingers was like finding a hidden part of the internet that didn't follow the usual rules.
So yeah, I didn't know about a lot of
Always
this.
found it boring.
Oh, really? Huh. See, the reason why I didn't know a lot about this stuff on the older YouTube is because at that point I was probably obsessed with finding wrestling, anime, and then like just comedy videos. You know, that was the stuff that I looked up on YouTube back then. And I mean comedy videos. Well, you know, like YouTube, old YouTube comedy. You know. But yeah. So that's why I missed out on a lot of this weird shit that was on old YouTube. 'Cause yeah, I had my certain kinds of stuff that I was obsessed with looking up.
It was really unlike anything else that we'd seen as like Gen Z kids, you know? Especially as kids, really, because like we hadn't been exposed to anything yet, really. We were just kids. And that's the end of Layer 2, guys, so let's get into Layer 3. Starting with Archive of Our Own, or AO3. AO3 is one of the sites that became a major part of internet culture for Gen Z who were into fandoms. Launched in 2008 by the Organization for Transformative Works, AO3 was created as a safe space
Oh,
for
yeah.
fanfic writers who wanted
Yeah, I've got an account on there. I read and write for stuff on there.
to post whatever they wanted without worrying about censorship. Unlike other fanfic sites, AO3's open approach meant you could
Same,
find
I was
stories
always about the
any
AMV,
show.
WWE highlights, and funny cartoons. Gonna see the bite in the video.
Was that the bite of 87? But yeah, that was that's pretty much what I did, like the anime AMVs. Yeah, the wrestling stuff like WWE highlights and stuff. And yeah, just like comedy junk. Like old school comedy stuff that like you could probably go back and try to look it up and it's not even there anymore. Like that's how old and outdated they were. You guys remember Cursing Fish? I wonder if that video is even still on YouTube.
game, or movie you loved, and some stories that left you thinking, what the fuck did I just read? Many of you probably found AO3 when looking for like a continuation of your favorite show, or wanting to read some fluffy romance between your favorite characters, but...
Or some dirty, sweaty, stanky, raw dog, passionate smut. Or yeah, just like extra add-on to the story, or fluff. Yeah, that too, maybe.
It didn't take long before you discovered just how deep and wild the fanfic world could get. The site has tags that range from innocent to downright disturbing, and sometimes you'd find yourself scrolling through a story that got unexpectedly dark. It was a part of growing up online, realizing that fan communities could take things to extreme places.
That's why you really need to look at the tags and make sure you're not going to get into something you didn't want to.
Horror fics that made your skin crawl, to weird crossovers you didn't even know that you needed, that anybody needed. AO3 became a symbol of fandom, freedom, and creativity, showing just how far fans would go to explore new stories. Next up, we got Blame It on Jorge. Blame It on
Yeah,
Jorge
Blame It on Jorge!
Exploring lost media, nostalgic content.
If you're not already subscribed and watching Blame It on Jorge, you need to fix that.
And creepy internet mysteries. He started his channel back in 2013, and over the years, his calm voice and deep dive videos became a staple for Gen Z kids who loved getting spooked or learning weird facts about like old shows. Like, he's covered things like from lost episodes of Sesame Street to mysterious TV broadcasts that have a creepy edge to them. He's basically like just my channel, but better. Except he doesn't talk about drugs like I do, so. What made Blame It on Jorge's content so appealing was how he combined nostalgia with a sense of the unknown. I don't know why I wrote this in past tense. He still makes videos.
Yeah.
You'd click on a video about a show that you vaguely remembered from childhood, and you'd end up down a rabbit hole of eerie backstories and lost media that made you question what really happened. He's a good YouTuber. Again, he's like me but better, bro. Next up, we got
Me but better.
Grudge Ghost Girl in the Mirror. Creepy Grudge Ghost Girl in the Mirror is a classic screamer video uploaded in 2008 by ncook1234, and it's accumulated more than 111 million views so far. This also makes it the first screamer at 2008. It's really old. The video starts by showing a young girl who's putting on earrings. After she puts them on, she looks away and waves to the camera. After that, the camera zooms in on the mirror, and the young girl's reflection becomes a demonic face, eyes and mouth wide open, screaming at the camera, while the girl is still waving at the cameraman. There's also a sequel.
Oh, I didn't know it was a screamer. I've only ever seen the part where up to the face in the mirror transforming. I didn't know it had like a zoom in screaming part.
Well, this video called Possessed Girl Beheads Herself in Her Bedroom that was uploaded in 2009.
I think I saw that before.
It features a woman, possibly the girl.
Yeah, it's kind of an old one.
Going up to the daughter under the blanket and pulls it off her, revealing her possessed state. This makes the mother scream in fear. Suddenly, the girl's head falls off. The mother screams again.
What the hell?
The man drops the camera. Next up, we got disturbing fan.
Whoa, I gotta see that
we
one.
already kind of covered this on AO3. But just like, for example, there was Cupcakes, which was a My Little Pony
Cupcakes.
fanfic, and it took a show meant for kids and turned it into a horror story involving torture and gore. And then another infamous story, Sweet Apple Massacre, was even darker and made you wish that you had just had stuck to the main show. But yeah, this is just showing that
I want you to try my cupcakes. But oh no, I don't have any more. But I'm sure you can help me with that.
they're just like disturbing fanfics that a lot of
It was something like that anyways.
How to Basic. How to Basic started in 2011 as a channel that seemed to offer simple tutorials, but quickly devolved into chaos. The channel was all about baiting viewers into thinking they'd learn something useful, like how to cook a perfect egg, only to watch as everything spiraled into an explosion of eggs, random foods.
Wait, are they talking about How to Basic?
Channel that seemed
How to Basic.
Into an explosion of eggs, random foods, and
How to Basic was funny.
The creator stays
Man, how
anonymous,
to
which only
basic eye
adds the
freaking
weirdness
conic.
of it all.
Yes.
Videos have millions of views because people really just can't get enough of this stuff. For Gen Z, How to Basic was one of those things that defined like YouTube humor in the early 2010s.
There it goes.
Thinking this can't be real, and then find yourself showing your friends just to see their confused reactions. It became an inside joke. Everyone knew what How to Basic really meant, and it was never going to be just a simple tutorial. The absurdity and unpredictability.
Oh my
Anyone
God.
remembering
made it
How to
oddly
Basic You're the
addictive. It
goat.
was a staple of internet culture during that time.
Now, granted, I
Omegle-
didn't.
Omegle
Oh, Omegle. I used to go on there to try to do like role play stories with people. Yeah, that was fun. You know, when you could actually get a hold of somebody. Granted, I didn't watch like all of their videos, but I have seen a couple of their, you know, How to Basic. I have seen a couple of their videos. Like the homework one was really funny.
was a site that you turned to when you were bored and wanted to chat with strangers, which
Oh
sounds
shoot,
weird
Omegle.
now, but back
Yep.
then it was a thing. I mean, I guess it's not that weird now. Like we use Omi TV now. I go in there sometimes and my
We use what now? Because I've never heard of what he just said.
friends just like to fuck around. Anyways, launched in 2009, Omegle let you have random conversations without needing an account, and it was split into text and video chats. The thrill came from the unpredictability. Sometimes you'd meet someone cool and have a funny conversation, and other times you'd end up skipping as fast as possible to avoid, you know, something weird.
Yeah.
Let's just say that guitars are not the only things being stroked on Omegle. Omegle
Well, see, I never did the video chat thing. I just did the text chat.
gained popularity because it felt like anything could happen. You and your friends would sit around a laptop, laughing and daring each other to see who could last the longest without skipping to the next chat. But it also had a darker side. With anonymity came some seriously uncomfortable encounters that made you close the tab really fast. It was part fun, part creepy, and definitely part of the internet experience growing up. Omegle is where you learned that stranger danger wasn't just a saying. For Gen Z kids, at least. Racist Mario. Racist Mario.
Okay, I've seen, no, I didn't watch Racist Mario. I watched Mad Mario. I've seen a couple of Mad Mario videos. Those were pretty funny. Oh yeah, how much of my, Pinkie Pie Cupcakes voice did you hear? Did I creep you out?
Mario was a 2014 parody animation by Flash Gitz that turned the innocent world of Mario Kart into a violent, over-the-top spectacle. So Racist Mario is just the name of a
Oh my
viral
God.
YouTube
Perfect Mario,
animation
funniest of the
featuring video
Mario
game character
videos.
Mario violently eliminating other video game characters during a Mario Kart race. On August 5th, 2014, YouTuber Flash Gitz uploaded the Racist Mario video onto YouTube, in which Mario enacts revenge on various other video game characters, viciously
What the
murdering
hell?
them during the race. Over the next 3 years, the video received upwards of 100
Go, Ouija, go!
views and 45,000 comments. But yeah, this video was crazy. For Gen Z, this video was part of the edgy internet humor phase, where pushing the envelope was the norm, and that was what made it funny, I guess. Okay, next we got Lights Out. Lights Out was a short horror film directed by David F. Sandberg that became a viral sensation.
Now, I never heard of Lights Out until, like, the movie adaptation came out. I didn't know it was an internet short film.
In around 2013.
First.
The short featured a woman who turns off the lights only to see a shadowy figure appear and then disappear when the lights come back on. It
Oh
played on
yeah,
a
I
fear that
remember
everyone's
it.
felt at some point, wondering what might be lurking when the lights go out. This short film was shared everywhere because it was quick, scary, and easy to watch, and it left you with that uneasy feeling that stayed long after the video ended. It was so popular that it even got turned into a full-length movie in 2016. But for a lot
Yeah.
of Gen Z kids, it was the short that really stuck. Watching
Yeah,
Lights Out with
I
your
didn't know it
friends
was an
late at night
original
was an
short
instant
film
scare,
first.
and it was pretty memorable. Next up, we got Shrek.
Oh, hell on that!
Shrek's Love, Shrek's Life started out as a creepy copy
Oh, dear God, not that. Not this. Come on, man.
pasta that turned into an infamous animated video in 2014. The story features a kid who prays to Shrek as a godlike figure, only for things to take a really dark, twisted turn. It's graphic, unsettling, and it plays off Shrek's popularity in the weirdest way possible. You'd hear about it from friends or see it pop up in meme compilations, and watching it was almost like a dare because of how messed up it was.
Jesus.
This one I never really remembered as a kid, you know.
So
I never
excited
saw
for
this.
Shrek 5.
I think I was on the other.
Damn,
side
they're still making
at
them?
this point. Next up, we have Dolphin Muzzle. The scary dolphin muzzle video is the entry point to a strange, unsettling rabbit hole on YouTube. This clip, which has been reposted and edited multiple times, features a person in a dolphin mask with distorted audio and Armenian text overlaid.
Admittedly,
Known
that's
as the
admittedly, yeah, that's really creepy, but you know, it's just something somebody made. It's not real. That video is from a guy who does like
Puss in Boots: The Last Wish came out 2 years ago and now we're officially heading to Shirk 5.
wow. They're really milking that franchise, aren't they? But as I was saying, the dolphin face guy is like a real guy. He does special effects makeup. He was literally just showing off some of his work. He has several videos like that. And even he himself in his newer videos, like one of his newer videos, he admitted that back then, yeah, because of the low quality camera he was using, yeah, the videos did come off rather creepy. And he apologized for that. And he's like, yeah, I could see what you mean about it being creepy. But yeah, that's all that is.
original dolphin muzzle cursed, it gained attention as part of a YouTube trend where users would search for full stop punctuation or even just a period and find themselves scrolling through increasingly disturbing content. While many videos in this trend are harmless memes with gore thumbnails, the dolphin video is different. Viewers quickly picked up on the unusual quality of the video's distorted Tarzan yell, which only added to the unease.
Oh, was that what that is?
The silent, masked figure in the dolphin suit lingered with people, as if the video was hiding a lot more than just an innocent costume demo.
It's not, though. It's literally
Now,
just
let's
an
talk
innocent
about
costume
the
demo.
history because I think it's pretty interesting. The origins of the dolphin muzzle video trace back to a YouTube channel called North Fur, which
Yeah, this guy.
specializes in realistic animal prosthetics. The original clip, titled Dolphin Muzzle, was posted on December 30th, 2007 by North Fur as a demonstration of their dolphin muzzle prosthetic.
Mm-hmm.
The video is a 40-second silent clip featuring only the dolphin mask without any context. The silence and strange realism of the mask left a strong impression on viewers, especially since the description of the prosthetic confirmed the dolphin's mouth was made from slush cast latex and body paint, a level of detail that made it seem unnervingly real. In December 2022, a YouTuber named Andy Alex managed to find a version of the video with partial audio, though the full original audio remains lost. The survival of only part of the audio has made it somewhat of a mystery within lost media communities, though it's widely believed that North Fur's original posting wasn't meant to be creepy, but just like a demonstration of their work.
Yeah.
The channel itself has a history of sporadic uploads, often showcasing other animal prosthetics and costumes. In 2015, North Fur returned with a tutorial video, introducing viewers to Jason, the lead sculptor behind these designs. This video was the first time Jason showed his face on the channel, addressing the unintentional creepiness of earlier videos due to poor camera quality and silent footage.
Yeah.
He clarified that the eerie quality of the dolphin video was purely incidental, a byproduct of outdated digital cameras and the silent nature of the videos. North Fur's audience, however, isn't what you might expect for a typical costume creator. Their work has found a following within the humanimal community, a niche group interested in realistic animal-like prosthetics that is distinctly different from typical furry culture. Unlike furries, whose costumes are stylized and often fluffy, human animals prioritize hyper-realistic representations of animals. This realism can seem unsettling as it falls into
Dude, why the
intimate
hell am I
value of the
talking
line
about this?
between
Because it's important to give full context behind these things. And, you know, you're never too old to learn something new, and I'm learning something new. I didn't know there was an offshoot of... And I am a furry. Like a moderate furry. More specifically, a scaly. And even I had no idea about the manimals or whatever he said they were, humanimals or whatever. Even I didn't know about that little offshoot.
human and animal becomes blurred. but that's not really important to this video. I don't know why I wrote about that. But yeah, this shit did fuck me up as a kid, bro. Next up we have Eye of the Body of a Pig. Body of a Pig
That
is
is
the
a
title
creepy
of a
video,
popular
yeah.
YouTube video that follows
Even
a
though it's
group
fake
of
as hell,
paranormal
it's still
investigators exploring a
creepy.
supposedly haunted site. During their investigation, they capture what appears to be an EVP, a disembodied voice recording, clearly saying, quote, "I have the body of a pig." This eerie message is accompanied by a photograph taken shortly after the EVP was recorded, supposedly showing a strange figure. The video quickly went viral, amassing nearly 500,000 views and stirring debate among viewers. A poll on the paranormal site Midnight Hollow showed that out of 145 respondents, 70 people believed the video to be genuine, while only 23 thought it was a hoax. To examine its authenticity, we can start with the video itself. The supposed evidence begins with the photo, which is shown around the 50-second mark. The investigators present this image as proof of an entity, but on closer inspection, viewers questioned its legitimacy. Some observant commenters noted that during the part of the video where the photo was taken, there's no indication of a figure present in the space captured in the final image.
Yeah.
The video creator responded saying viewers couldn't see the entity due to differences in camera perspective. However, the angle discrepancy isn't convincing enough to fully explain why the photo would show something clearly not visible in the video. The EVP recording also raises
it's almost like they were full of shit. They were lying.
questions. When sped up, the phrase "I have the body of a pig" sounds notably similar to the voice and accent of the people making the video, suggesting that it might have been staged. This wouldn't be the first
Might
time
have
the
been.
creator has posted questionable videos. For example, in a comedy series titled Terrifying Encounters, he uses fake EVP sounds for comedic effect. Although these videos are clearly meant as a joke, the EVPs used in them bear a striking resemblance to the one in Body of a Pig, raising doubts about whether he could have used similar techniques in his supposedly, quote, real videos. Other videos in his channel further call into question his credibility. In his, quote, hospital corridor video, for instance, he claims to have set up a camera in an abandoned hospital, capturing extremely clear audio of supposed paranormal events. However, the video's audio quality is unusually high compared to his other uploads, hinting that the sound effects may have been edited in post-production. The video's backstory also includes specific details about a murder, yet the creator omits any identifying information about the supposed perpetrator, making it impossible to verify his
How
claims.
convenient.
Another example is his Alone in the Dark video, where he records in an abandoned building and claims to hear the voice of a child upstairs saying, quote, "mother," and, quote, "burn him." Though the first word could resemble mother, the second phrase doesn't align with burn him, as claimed. There's speculation that the sound might simply be a cat in heat, which can sound eerily similar, apparently.
Yeah.
Even more dubious is the video titled "You Have Reached Your Destination," in which he claims to have recorded two people going down a haunted road at night. They discuss a local legend of deaths on that road right before their car flips and they supposedly die. The clip is so exaggeratedly timed and staged that it feels like a scripted movie scene rather than genuine footage. Returning to Body of a Pig, the creator's track record of obviously staged content casts a pretty big shadow on its authenticity. Nearly every other video on his channel can be confirmed as fake, leaving pretty much no reason for anyone to believe that this one would be any different. Alright, hey everyone, I'm back. Thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed, and, you know, if you did, why aren't you subscribed, bro? Please, 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 please. Let me know in the comments what you guys want to see in the future for my channel, because I
Dang, no
would
bite of
suggestions for
87.
future video
Aw.
ideas, iceberg ideas, or really anything, so just let me know. I had a great time making this one, so I really hope you had a good time watching it. And leave a like, Discord, everything in the beginning of the video. Thank you so much, really. And I hope you all are having a great day, and have a great night. Sweet dreams.
Come on. Thank you. So this one is Finding the Origins of Strange Images by Shy Valley, I think is how you say their name. That's another channel I've actually subbed to. They do a lot of like, they do mostly like lost media, or they'll do videos like this showcasing something just strange videos and all. Hang on a second. Y'all probably can't hear it because last time you said you didn't, but something's going on with my audio. Let me try unplugging my headset and plugging it back in. Oh, realistic Patrick.
I can hear the video all fine, my friend.
Yeah, it's probably something on my end.
This image right
sound
here
keeps
is
glitching
a popular internet
for
image,
me.
which has been shared around online for a long time. Some of you might know it, some of you might not. It's a realistic version of Patrick Star from SpongeBob SquarePants, and it is absolutely terrifying. I was a small young child when I first came across this image.
Well, it's weird looking anyways.
I don't remember where I first saw it, but I remember very well how I felt during seeing it. I think I was jump scared by it watching some YouTube video. It wasn't a screamer, there was no noise when it appeared, it just unexpectedly showed up without warning.
Now you know that's a mock-up representation because it says this, and that wasn't even a thing until a couple of years ago, and this is supposed to be like old YouTube.
That was enough though to make me lose my marbles. I remember attempting to click off the video as fast as I could and get the image off the screen. That memory I have of me first seeing it is a memory that has really stuck with me. I don't know why I thought it was creepy as a kid, because I look at it now and it just looks really funny actually.
Yeah.
Was I the only one that thought this image was frightening? So, where did this image come from is the big question. Who was the artist behind it? These questions I want to try to find out. Doing a reverse image search is probably the first thing to do when trying to discover when an image was first posted online.
Yeah.
Putting the realistic Patrick Star onto TinEye, a reverse image search website, reveals the first time it was posted was on April 1st, 2008, onto a Naruto fan forum. Trying to access the website nowadays is impossible. However, through the power of the Wayback Machine, we can look at an old archive of the
Good old
page.
Wayback
Some
Machine.
images from this thread haven't been archived, including the realistic Patrick image. However, in this forum, an image from SpongeBob was posted in the thread. It's likely that the realistic Patrick picture was a reply to the SpongeBob image. Now, obviously, there's a high chance that realistic Patrick didn't first originate from this Naruto forum. If it did, I will be genuinely surprised. I have a strong feeling that it was posted before onto some other site which might not even exist anymore on the internet. I have tried so hard to find anything about this image's origins. I tried searching realistic Patrick on Google, creepy Patrick, anything along those lines, using custom dates only showing results before April 1st, 2008. But I wasn't really able to find anything and nothing really came up. I looked at old websites showing off this image to see if they maybe included credit for the creator or something, but that didn't work out, couldn't really find anything. I noticed there was another popular variant of this image going around with a different background and blur at the bottom. I ran this through TinEye to see if it was possibly older than April 2008. However, the earliest finding of this variant dates back to 2009. So this was made much later after its creation. I even searched up realistic Patrick origin to see if anyone maybe had any luck finding it and posted about it. A Reddit post did come up which was asking if anyone knew the image's origins. A user in the comments found pretty much the same things that I've already talked about. And also, similar to what I said before about its possible origin, the OP also states that it was probably made on a site that now doesn't exist and perhaps wasn't archived. It's a shame that this image and its source is a complete mystery. I've had trouble in the past finding answers to particular things in videos. In a recent video, I wasn't able to find the location to bootleg McDonald's restaurant Michael Alone. But after some time, a user on Reddit amazingly was able to dig up the exact location of the Michael Alone restaurant, which is crazy. So if any of you are able to find anything about this image's origin, make a comment down below and I'll make sure to pin it. Looking past all the creepiness of this image, it's actually really awesome. It's amazingly detailed and it looks extremely well done. Exactly how I would imagine Patrick Star if he was real. Hopefully one day
Yep.
we can find out who was behind this popular picture, and they get the flowers they deserve.
This is why it's always important to credit your work, because it might become lost media or unknown source one day. Oh yeah, isn't this the picture that's usually associated with that Plankton got served creepypasta?
There's a chance that you have seen this image before. This strange and cursed looking edit of Plankton from SpongeBob. I
Yeah.
don't know what it is with me discussing weird SpongeBob fan art in videos. Last video I legit talked about gangster SpongeBob, but hopefully you're
Yeah.
enjoying it.
I remember that
This
one.
is an image that has
Plankton
been going
seen
around
other
the
days
internet
face
for
with
a
tears
while
of joy.
now, and I want to know
Oh, better
the
days,
backstory
yeah.
behind this image. Like, what is this face that's used in the image? Who had created it, and where is it from? Let's find out right now. This image is associated with a lost episode creepypasta known as Plankton Got Served. It's a famous creepypasta about Plankton, which is heavily responsible for popularizing this image and making it
Oh, this guy, Pig Gamer.
Wonder how Plankton looks like that.
I guess we're gonna find out. But yeah, this YouTuber here, Pig Gamer, he does ranking video. Well, I mean, he does other stuff, but the reason why I subscribed is for his series where he ranks different versions of videos that are made for creepypastas, like everybody's interpretation, like video interpretation. Oh my gosh, I tried to turn my head away and muffle it, but you probably still heard me sneeze. I'm sorry, excuse me. Why am I the only VTuber that doesn't have a cute sneeze? Everybody else is like, chew! Or something, but mine's just like a holler. Or it sounds more like a cough.
Bless you, buddy.
Thanks, Aiden. But anyways, yeah. I don't normally really care for, like, ranking videos, but I like his, with this little setup, but I like his ranking videos. But you should go check him out. Pig Gamer. Pig Gamer. Really go check him out. I don't know, maybe one of these days I'll show you one of his videos.
widely known. It's even gone past just this creepypasta and is used in a lot of memes now. The image was first posted onto DeviantArt back on April 22nd, 2010 by a user who goes by Moopintot. It's a relatively old image, much older than the creepypasta which popularized it. The artwork is titled Plankton, and the description for the image reads, "Not really digging this one too much to be honest." Moopintot has done various other cursed looking SpongeBob edits.
Oh god, I haven't
One
seen
of
those
these
ones.
is also
No,
as
that
well
one I've
a
seen.
really popular image. The SpongeBob holding money with a funny face edit.
Yeah, I've seen
This
that
is
one.
one I have seen everywhere in memes. Now, what about the face in this image? What face was used to make Plankton look so creepy? The image used is a close-up of a sculpture that was used to help create these special effects used
Oh, I think I've seen these sculptures before, yeah.
in the music video for Michael Jackson's Ghost. It's just been blended in with this Patrick image. Who knew that Plankton from SpongeBob and a Michael Jackson sculpture could make such a weird and ominous image? I think it has to do with the fact that as well Plankton only has one eye, so seeing him like this looks really strange. I don't know. But yeah, That's the background and origin of this infamous image.
Yeah, it's kind of like that Mike Wazowski, but with Sully's face photoshopped onto
Plankton
him.
Jackson rolling on the floor laughing.
Plankton Jackson. But yeah, it's like the like I said, the Mike Wazowski, but with Sully's face. You're so used to seeing him with just the one eye that seeing him with two eyes and the nose like that is just, it's so weird. Is that a Teletubby with a shotgun?
I'm sure you have seen this strange image before. It's a pretty iconic image on the internet that has been shared around everywhere. It looks to be a guy in a Teletubby costume holding a shotgun. This has become a well-known meme and is also considered to be a very famous cursed image. Can I just say, why are there so many Teletubby cursed images on the internet? What is it with Teletubbies having the most insane, darkest photos ever? I could do a whole video about cursed Teletubby photos and the origins of them. There's so many. I even had this image as like my Instagram profile picture at one point. It's just a funny and strange image. What could possibly be the context of this? Many people believe that the man in the Teletubby costume is Todd Howard, the director and executive producer at Bethesda.
I kind of see it,
And
yeah.
I can definitely see that.
Oh, it
They for
does look
sure
like
have
him,
the same
yeah.
sort of face. I found a Reddit post which was asking if anyone knew the origins of the image, and
That
people
one
were
actually
pretty
says
convinced this is a
picture of
photoshopped
Todd.
Howard or something. Someone had even made a Doom 2
Todd
mod
Howard
called
with a
Todd
shotgun.
Howard with a shotgun, which is crazy. It puts the Teletubby into the game. It's kind of sick, actually. And just look at this conversation on Twitter. What is the context behind Todd Howard wearing a Teletubby's costume with a shotgun? I've seen that picture around the years online, never realized it was Todd Howard. I've known it was him, but I've never heard what the story behind it was. I mean, people are convinced that this is Todd Howard or some Photoshop of Todd Howard. It's almost like it's a fact that it's him, but
They either photoshopped his face or it's just a guy that really looks like him.
is it really him? Let's find out once and for all. Like usual, I decided to put this image onto TinEye and see if I could find anything about its origin. The oldest result that showed up was from 2014, found on this website which goes by Hans Sophia, which is inaccessible nowadays. I noticed the image looked to be a full crop. Usually when you come across this image on the internet, it is completely cut in half, so I definitely knew I was onto something. Since the website is down, I put the link of this website through the Wayback Machine, and luckily, it's been archived. I went to an archive from November 2014, since TinEye claimed it was first found in 2014, and look what I found. In a photo gallery, I found the original image in its full high quality. So this is where the famous Teletubby Todd Howard cursed image originates from. And no, it's not Todd Howard, as you can see.
I figured.
This appeared to be a business that I believe hosted and organized parties and accommodations. They have a photo gallery on their website showing the parties and events that have gone down. And the Teletubby holding a shotgun image comes from one of the parties that happened in Sofia. So yeah, it wasn't photoshopped after all, and it's just some guy who looks very similar to Todd Howard. You can even find some other separate photos of this guy in the Teletubby costume. And upon further inspection, we can see that these photos are as old as 2009. They go way back. So yeah, sorry if you thought this was a funny image of Todd Howard and I just ruined all that for you. It isn't Todd Howard, but
Sorry
that's
to
really
crush
cool
your
know
dreams
what
like
this
that.
image is. I finally, after all these years, know the context of it, which is pretty nifty.
Hang on just a second, guys. Alright, give me 1 second, guys. I'm gonna put y'all on hold again.
Yo buddy, are you alright? Lots of in and outs of the stream.
Alright, before we had a look at Realistic Patrick, now let's move on to Realistic Mario. Growing up on the internet, I was obsessed with fan-made Mario related content on YouTube. I used to watch so many classic videos as a kid. Some were cool and epic and creative and awesome. Some were definitely videos. Anyone else remember M is Bad? That was an insane video. I saw a TikTok about it not too long ago. That was kind of funny. I would see this cursed looking Mario face everywhere in these videos, and it always creeped me out. For example, I remember watching a video known as Mario's Birthday by the Cute Mario Bros. In the video, Mario is looking into a mirror and the weird Mario face shows up. Realizing he looks old. As a kid, there was something so unnerving about this realistic Mario. Since it's been included in stuff like childhood trauma icebergs, it's safe to say I wasn't alone with feeling this way about it. Who had made it and where did it come from are the questions. And the answers are pretty simple, unlike the realistic Patrick render we looked at before. This is a render done by a user who goes by Pixeloo, who is an artist who likes doing lots of different Photoshop work. The realistic Mario Photoshop was posted onto Pixeloo's blog on March 15th, 2008, with a caption that read, "If Mario was real, that's one creepy plumber," created with Photoshop CS2 and a bunch of random faces pasted over a 3D render of Mario from Nintendo. The image and its post had received lots of traction and popularity. It would spread everywhere around the internet. Wired even made an article about it, calling it the freaky picture of the day. Pixeloo would later go on to make other realistic Photoshop renders, such as Homer Simpson and Stewie Griffin. A bunch of other artists were inspired by the strange realistic designs Pixeloo was making, and decided to make their own realistic cartoon Photoshop characters. Pixeloo, with this realistic Mario render, started a whole new wave, and these designs have since been dubbed as Untoons. Hundreds and thousands of these Untoon images have since been created.
Why the hell was I muted? What the hell? I'm sorry about that.
So that's right, you gotta thank Realistic Mario for the creation of Realistic Patrick. This is a really famous cat. You are most likely lying if you say that you have never seen this cat image before. As a kid, typing in HD wallpaper background 2013 or whatever year it was, this image would come up along with its other variants, like the Nyan Cat one or the Galaxy one. There were so many different edits of this image that spread around everywhere on the internet. Unrelated, but does anyone else remember the Fire and Water Fist background, or the lol face media, and all these ones? It's so funny and interesting to me that
I literally
despite all
only remember the
millions
cat
of
with
images
glasses.
existing on the internet, as kids back then, we were also drawn to specific strange images, and all of us used them as wallpapers. Everyone talks about Grumpy Cat, Doge, but not Sunglasses Cat. Such an iconic and famous cat, yet no one talks about it or knows anything about it. It's pretty sad stuff. Let's find out some more information about this image and the cat behind it. This famous picture originates from a photographer who goes by Andy Prock, and hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. Andy
Oh my
Prock is well
gosh,
known on the internet
OBS.
for capturing photos of the friendship between the iconic cat and his daughter, starting this series of photographs when she was born, all the way till she was like 4 years old.
Well,
I
at
believe.
least
In these
YouTube
photos,
watchers
the cat
will
and
get the end
daughter
of
can
the
be seen
stream.
doing all sorts of activities with each other, and it's really wholesome stuff. I also learned that the cat's name is Lailu Blue Royale Lady, so that's pretty cool. We now know the actual name of the cat that took over computer wallpapers back in the day. Andy has taken many different pictures of the cat, but I guess this simple photo of the cat wearing sunglasses really struck a chord with a lot of people. I mean, it is a pretty dope photo. As a kid, even I had this as the background on my school laptop. Pretty sure I had the edited Nyan Cat one. I was wondering if Andy was familiar with how iconic this image is, but after going to what I believe is his Instagram, he definitely knows, judging from his profile picture, which is the sunglasses cat, and bio, which reads author of the legendary photo. And that's exactly right. A legendary photo this is indeed. Thank you guys for watching. If you're hearing this right now, that means you watched the entire video, and that seriously means so much to me. It's so amazing seeing you guys watch these videos I make, and yeah, thank you, truly. If there's anything you guys want to see me talk about on the channel, please make a comment down below. Give me any ideas or topics that you think would be cool to do a video on. Anyways though, hope you've had a good one, and hopefully I'll see you again soon. See you later.
Alright, I guess that's going to be it for our Chill Saturday stream. I'm going to call it, especially because OBS keeps connecting and or disconnecting and connecting and all of that. So, thank you guys so much for tuning in for the Chill Saturday stream, aka let's clear out my watch later list. So, yeah. Hope to see you again next Saturday for another chill stream. And then next I'm sorry, I'm losing my train of thought here. Also tune in for the next time I stream. I will be continuing Mortal Kombat 1. I have not abandoned it, don't worry. We're going to continue it. And of course I'll be uploading just smaller gameplay videos on the YouTube. And for those of you who were watching and you got disconnected, just watch the VOD to get the end of it. So yeah. Oh, and there it goes again. Well, I'm just going to check and see if there is anybody to raid. Let's see. As soon as it loads. Anyways, so yeah. Follow the Twitch here. Go subscribe on YouTube. I should have my links on my page here, and yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. But yeah, I'm gonna try to, let's see, who's live? Oh, Merc is live. Let's go raid Merc. Alright. Slash raid UB CS. Do I got a capital? Is it case sensitive? What? Mercenary. Okay, if I did that right, then it should be sending us to Merc's channel. So, yep, it was fun hanging out with you guys. I hope you like my Saturday stream avatar with my little hand tracking. Love you guys, and I'll see y'all in the next stream. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, hi. Bye.